while we launch. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Eyes Up Mother Brown. It is Southampton versus, you're over there. It's Southampton versus West Ham United in the Premier League. The Hammers looking to extend their unbeaten run at the start of the 2021-22 campaign to 4 games. 7 points from 9 so far. Nearly 9. Could have been 9. Should have been 9 perhaps, but it isn't. And good chance to go to Southampton today and hopefully extend that. I'm joined today by my boy Rio. Rio, how you doing, buddy?
I'm not so bad, thanks, mate. It's nice to be back on properly after all this time.
Well, it's good to have you back. It is good to have you back. And it is, unfortunately, only you and I this afternoon. We may be joined a little bit later by Nick, who is running a bit late from an appointment he had earlier today. And, of course, we'll be hoping to get Gnome and possibly the Pink Palermo at some stage coming live from St Mary's Stadium. Before we do that, because, as usual, we are running extremely late, Rio's going to take us through today's teams. Rio, over to you, buddy.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Starting with our host today. In goal for them is McCarthy. They line up with, according to the BBC Sport website, a back four of Livramento, Stevens, Saluso and Perot. In midfield, oh, here we go. The first one of the season I've had to deal with. Ananusi, Ward-Prowse, Romeo and Gineppo. And starting up front is Nathan Redmond and Adam Armstrong, who we were linked with heavily over the summer, but of course didn't buy. On the bench for our hosts are Walker Peters, Silvera Neves Vojinovic, who is 1 player and not 3, Adams, Broja, Teller, Diallo, Bednarek, Valerie and Forster. And the rip-roaring, goal-scoring Happy Hammers line up.
Go on, you Irons.
Unchanged, rather surprisingly. In goal, Lucas Fabianski. A back four of Vladimir Soufal, Craig Dawson, Angelo Ogbono and Aaron Creswell. Holding the back line in the midfield is Thomas Souček and Declan Rice. Augmenting our striker is Jared Bowen, Pablo Fornals and Sai Benrahma. And Mikel Antonio is ploughing his lone furrow up front. On the bench, and may I say, the bench is looking pretty dense tonight. After all this time, we've actually got some strength in depth. Kurt Zouma, Andrei Yarmolenko, Manuel Lanzini, Vlasic, Areola, Mark Noble, Issa Diop, Ryan Fredericks, and Alex Crowell. So all 3 of our transfer deadline day signings. And Zouma, obviously, on the bench.
Yeah, quite surprising, actually. I think DL and I, we did the transfer deadline piece, Rio, and we felt that the team would be pretty much the same, but we thought Moyes might go for Zouma today instead of Dawson. You surprised to see Dawson still in there?
I'm incredibly surprised. I think also Lucas Fabianski is maybe a little bit fortunate as well, because most of our goals that we conceded so far this season have been culpable between both Craig himself and Lucas.
Yeah. So
both of those were under threat, but they got away with it. You've got to remind Moyes for his loyalty. They're the guys who did such a fantastic job last season.
Yeah.
But they've obviously got some fierce competition breathing down their necks for a change now.
Is it a good thing that Moyes has done that, do you think, to stick with his tried and trusted rather than, just throw the news? I mean, after all, they've only been at Rush Green for 2 days, haven't they, since Thursday?
Yeah, very much so. He's always done this, hasn't he, David Moyes? Even in his Everton days, he never rushes new signings into the starting 11. And you've got to give him credit for sticking with who he's had, who he's trusted, who's done him so marvellously well so far. So, yeah, fair play to Dave.
Is this West Ham's strongest ever bench today?
In terms of price, very much so. I think our chairman might be maybe like choking on his sherry, thinking, how much have I spent in the last week or two? 70 odd £1 million. Yeah. No, I'm not even playing. No?
Yeah, it's, all 4 new signings on the bench. Areola, the keeper, of course, Zouma, Alex Crowell and Nikola Vlasic. Lots of money in there. But let's have a quick look at the Southampton team. We're just about to kick off, I think. But quick look at the Southampton team. Where's the main danger coming from there, Rio?
Obviously, you've got to look at their midfield. I know they're not had a marvellous start to the season, but James Ward-Prowse is a tremendous midfielder. Always a marvellous spread from set pieces, always a danger. Liveramento's been playing quite well. I think he joined in the summer, and he's putting some impressive performances from him. But also, you've got to look at the forward line. Adam Armstrong, as I said in the announcements, we was linked from in quite heavily, and never come to fruition. We don't know why. Probably because Moyes didn't actually fancy him. But now he had a really good season last year in the Championship, and he's going to be a little bit of a threat to us. And with our deficiencies at the back in terms of Craig and Lucas, if he can exploit getting in behind them, we could be a little bit under the cosh at times.
Definitely. Is that one that you felt that we perhaps should have gone for, Armstrong? Did you think he was sort of a West Ham player in the making?
I just don't think he had the kind of physicality that we needed. I think it's more of a kind of a diminutive, wiry kind of player. Now, we obviously go for the one up front. We need a little bit of muscle, a little bit of power, a little bit of pace. And I don't think he fulfills those attributes completely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's see if he does it today. The players have just finished taking the knee down at St Mary's. We're just about to kick off on my stream. In fact, there it goes. West Ham have kicked off. West Ham kicking from left to right at St Mary's this afternoon against the Saints. Southampton, are you surprised to see them where they are at the moment, Rio? Of course, they've got 1 point, I think, haven't they, so far this season, yet to win?
Yeah, it's a little bit because Hassan Hill's had his ups and downs down at St Mary's.
Yes.
But overall, he's done a reasonably good job because they have all the financial constraints. There's massive turnover of players at times, but he's done an okay job there. And when they do click, they've got some very good players.
Just seen a shot of Ralph Hasenhüttl on the sideline, looking more like an accountant, actually, than a football manager in a shirt and blue waistcoat, looking very dapper. Hopefully he'll undo a couple of buttons by the time the game's finished and look a little bit more dishevelled if West Ham can put the Saints to. So what are you thinking about today's game, Ria? I mean, one thing I noticed, actually, David Moyes' press conference on Friday, he talked about how they were looking to go to Southampton to get 3 points. I found that, as a West Ham fan, really refreshing that here we are with a manager actually talking about going somewhere to win the game and, not sort of ducking that question. But what's your view on that? Do you think this is one we should really be winning?
Judging by the way we played over the last year or so, we should be going to this place and getting results. It's still a little bit unnerving as a West Ham fan to go in the away game feeling incredibly confident. And it's going to take a long while for that kind of habit to break. But, I believe we're one of only two teams that Hasenhüttl hasn't beaten in his managerial career.
Oh, okay.
Premiership.
Who's the other one?
I believe it's Manchester United. I'll have to verify that, but I believe it is. But so, we got a little bit of an Indian sun over them. Hopefully we can continue it. And obviously now, if things aren't going well with our starting 11, there's options galore on the bench for a change. So we can shake this up. And I'm quietly confident.
Pablo Fornals has just had the first shot of the day. It's immediately blocked down on the edge of the area, so it comes to nothing. But West Ham are looking to push on. Just having a look at how we're shaping up here really early. It seems to me, Rio, like the Saints are going to be prepared to sit back and try and catch us on the break, which, is a little bit unusual for West Ham, isn't it? I think we're all, you said there about having to get used to going to grounds like this and, not expecting to get 3 points, but being a little bit more confident than we might usually be. It's also odd to see teams play like this against us, I guess.
Yeah. Our successes over the last year and a bit have been on the counter-attack. So it's no surprise to see teams of the ilk of Southampton, Newcastle, sit a little bit deeper, try and play us our own game and make us force the issue, make us be more assertive. Whether we can cope with that on a regular basis is a different matter. But, we haven't had problems going forward this season, have we? It's always been defensively. Yeah.
I think that's why I was a little bit surprised that Zuma wasn't put straight into the team, but there you go. Moyes sticking with his tried and trusted. Good afternoon to everyone joining us on the stream. Haven't said hello to you guys yet. Thank you for joining us. Let us know what you think of Moyes' team selection. Would you have stuck with the players, or would you have brought in one or two new boys? We've made our feelings clear. It'd be interesting to see what you guys say. Southampton have just had their first shot of the day, pretty much as Rio and I were just saying, countering quickly, winning possession, countering quickly, and the shot's easy one for Fabianski to save. But I guess, as Rio said, that's what we're going to be looking at defending this afternoon. A few hellos. H-Top Music says, "Come on, you Irons." Hobo says, "Afternoon all." Afternoon, Hobo. Polaroid, afternoon all. I reckon Jared Bowen is going to have a blinder today. 3-0 West Ham. We haven't done our predictions, have we yet, Rio? We'll do those in a second. Gavin Chandler, yes, I think Bowen will shine. And Tommy from Wii Basketball says, "Come on, you Iron." There's a blast from the past. Polaroid, Nick's not here today, so no worries. And I don't even know if there is any F1 qualifying today. I don't watch it myself, but
there is.
There is, but I don't think Rio's going to spoil it for you. So you're good. You won't have to put your fingers in your ears like last week. Predictions, Rio. What do we reckon?
I'm going to go for overly optimistic and a 2-0 win.
Ooh, fancy a clean sheet, eh? I've got a kind of vision of us playing Southampton and it nearly always being 1-0 in years gone. I'm sure that isn't the case. I mean, I can remember. Well, I've just seen West Ham break now. It's Fornell's trying to find Antonio. The ball is cut out though before it reaches him just inside the box, and Saints win back possession. But I can remember going down to Southampton. I mean, it was at the Dell. That's how long ago it was, on the opening day of the season. It must have been around, I think it was 1988, because I seem to remember half the crowd were wearing smiley T-shirts and dungarees. So that would kind of give you an idea of what year that was. But we haven't really done so bad down there, have we, lately? I think I've not got the stats in front of me, but I think we've had a couple of wins and a couple of draws. Quickly on my prediction, I don't see us keeping a clean sheet with this team. I think we'll win it though, so I'll go for a 2-1. I think so. 2-0 for Rio, but 2-1 for me. Rio, best memories of playing at Southampton, the Dale or St Mary's?
Actually, I think my favourite one from away trips has got to be when we beat them. I think it was 2-0 when Felipe Anderson scored that marvellous breakaway goal when we had about 8 players galloping forward, and I think Issa Diop was probably the furthest forward out of the pair of them. We played really well that night, and that's when under the Pellegrini experiment, when it clicked, and that night it was a bit of a joy to watch.
We're just in Southampton getting to the box now. This is dangerous. The ball's played across the area, and Aaron Cresswell is there first to hoik it out into touch from just inside the 6-yard box. A little bit of a danger sign for West Ham there. We should also, Rio, do our time check. I'm on 6:12 as we speak.
Oh, for God's sake! Yeah, I'm in a different time zone by the look of it. I mean, 4:11.
Okay, all right. Well, this is all new to me because without Skynet, it's usually me who's 2 minutes behind everyone else. So I'll try and take the lead this afternoon. Then, in this case, but Jeremy says hi all. Hi Jeremy, good to see you on the stream. Good to see you joining us. West Ham now looking to break, but the referee's pulled it up. There's something. Declan Rice says, "Oh no," doesn't agree with that decision. David Coote is our match official today. David Moyes is arguing with the fourth official on the touchline, and we're just seeing. I think the referee's called that one for a foul on Declan Rice conceding it. I don't think there was anything in it really. The Southampton player just tripped over his foot, but a free kick it is nonetheless, and play restarts. 7 minutes gone. It's Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. Having a... I've lost that page now. I was going to tell you what our record was against Southampton, but we'll come back to that in just a minute because Southampton are breaking now. It's Thomas Souček who picks up the ball. That's not Thomas Souček, that's Jared Bowen, and Jared Bowen is fouled. But referee Coote waves a very good play on, playing the advantage there, and Declan Rice has the ball just inside West Ham's half. Pulls it right to Craig Dawson, the man that many of us thought would be on the bench today. But not, he's out there again. And West Ham just keeping hold of the ball in midfield at the moment. We'll stick with it for a moment because Souček's got the ball and he's just tried to find Antonio out left, and it's a poor ball straight to Southampton defender. But wait, Antonio has regained possession. So 40 yards from goal, West Ham with the ball. It's with Fornell who plays it back to Cresswell over his head. So Declan Rice is instead who picks it up. And West Ham just enjoying a little bit of a spell of possession here right now. Talking about favourite games, Rio. so I haven't been to too many down at Southampton. But as for the home games, I think you'd have to go some way to beat the 4-1. I think it was 4-1. Again, I'm still waiting for the for this to come up. But under Sam Allardyce, a few years ago, it was when the what was his name? Nigel Adkins, I think, was the manager of Southampton, and they were. Do you remember that for a spell they were going around the country singing to everyone, "We play on the floor," and they were masters of knocking the ball around in their own half. And I don't know if you remember the game, but they did that for the first 20 minutes. West Ham fans were silent. And in the end, Sam Allardyce's long ball tactics ended up getting us a 4-1 win. And we played them off the park. Really. Do you remember that one?
Absolutely. That was a delightful afternoon because under Nigel Adkins, they were an abysmally gritty, horrible side.
Yeah.
They're trying to Allardyce us at times. And it was lovely to put one over to them. I've got to say, one of my other favourite ones was... not even a victory. The 3-3 draw, I think it was the last game of the 93-94 season. The last ever time we were standing over Upton Park.
Okay.
And 3-3 draw, Matt Le Tissier, who I'm a massive admirer of, had a great bit of banter with a chicken one afternoon. But he popped up in the very last minute, very last seconds, and popped in a 25-yard free kick, which was a joy to watch. But a very thoroughly entertaining game, though. You know? And it's a fitting way to say goodbye to Standing over the bowling.
The 7th of May, 1994. Lee Chapman, Martin Allen and Danny Williamson scoring for the Hammers. Neil Maddison, there's a blast from the past. Scoring for the Saints. And Le Tissier, as you rightly say, getting a brace. 1-0 at half-time. Ended up finishing 3-3, 7th of May, 1994. 27 years ago. Goodness gracious, an awful long time ago. Jeff Hathaway says, afternoon, all from Oz. How you doing, Jeff? Good to see you back on the stream. Let us know what your predictions are for the game. All right, we're 10 minutes in now, but we'll pretend that we're at the start, you know. Let us know what you think the score is going to be. As I said, let us know what you think of David Moyes' team selection. He's going with his tried and trusted 11 that have got West Ham 7 points out of 9 so far this season. All the new signings who we've just seen on our streams on the bench this afternoon. A lot of money, as we said a few minutes ago, there. 11 minutes gone, Rio. What are you making of what you've seen so far? I mean, the pattern hasn't really changed much from the opening couple of minutes, has it really?
No, not at all. We're playing some nice stuff at times, asking a few questions, but nothing really clear cut for me. I have to confess that my stream is some time behind and it's a little bit intermittent. So I'm trying to get plan D up at the moment. And hopefully that will work soon. But
okay,
yeah, what I've seen so far, nothing really to worry about. We're playing some nice football.
Jared Bowen's put the ball into the centre. West Ham on the break here. It's a low ball looking for Michail Antonio. It's just too short, just taken out by the Southampton defender. But exactly what Rio was saying there. West Ham have looked the stronger team and the side more likely to do something so far. We see Antonio's got the ball out on the right wing. It looked like there was going to be an offside flag raised there, but nothing came. And Vladimir Soufal has pushed on to help him. Southampton regained possession. Soufal winning the ball and putting it out. So we're just having a look at this quick counter here. And again, it's all come from Pablo Fornals. Did you see his goal in midweek, Rio, for Spain?
Numerous times, to be honest. I've developed a little bit of a crush on Pablo. He's just like one of them players that I absolutely look forward to watching week in, week out. He embodies everything that I love about West Ham at the moment. And that was a rather special strike, wasn't it? Lovely cut in, dug it into the bottom corner.
Now, sorry, Rio, I'm just going to break in because I think this is a free kick right on the edge of the box. It's our man, Pablo Fornals, taking the ball through the centre. Rowe is the offender who's tripped him. It is a free kick. It's just outside the box. We're just seeing a replay now. Rowe, the number 6, diving in. It's a dreadful challenge, but it is 2 yards outside the box. I believe Rowe is going to go into the book for this one. I mean, it's actually quite naughty. He's dived in off the ground and gone in. It's a bizarre challenge, really. It's very Sunday league in its essence. Rowe expressed his disdain for the referee's decision, but it's a clear yellow card. So West Ham have a free kick now in an incredibly dangerous position. We're about 2 yards to the right of the edge of the D, 20 yards from goal. So a really, really decent opportunity for West Ham to open the scoring here. It's Ben Rama and Cresswell who are over the top of it. Of course, you'd think this one might suit Cresswell, being a left footer, and as I say, it's slightly to the right of the D. He's going to be able to get the whip and the curl on it from that side. But of course, Ben Rama could go around the wall the other way. The referee's blown his whistle. Who's going to take it? We're just waiting to see. Southampton 5 men in the wall. It's Cresswell who steps up, hits the ball, and it's straight into the wall. He takes the rebound and with his right foot puts it well over the bar. Another wasted opportunity. But yeah, so we're just coming up to 14 minutes gone. Are you there yet, Rio? Are you at the free kick yet?
I've just found another stream on my phone, and we've just seen Cresswell hit it straight into the wall. So I'm about 35 seconds behind you now. That's
not too bad. We can live with that one, I guess. So 14 minutes gone. Southampton nil, West Ham United nil. West Ham there with their first shot at goal. Southampton had one a little bit earlier. Cresswell, I suppose it counts as 2 shots really. Pablo Fornanos did have one earlier that was blocked immediately, but that's the first effort that's actually reached the goal line. But decent start for the Hammers, Rio.
Yeah, definitely. We're on the ascendancy. We're asking a few questions. Can't ask nothing more than that at the moment. We definitely don't look shaky at the back at all. And that was the major worry for everybody. So far, in control, not too worried.
We should go back to what we were talking about before hang on a sec, because we've got Soufal with the ball now on the right flank, plays it inside to Thomas Souček, who comes across to Declan Rice. Declan Rice right across to the other side to Aaron Cresswell as West Ham look to stretch the play a little bit. It's come back to Angelo Bonner, who's found Craig Dawson, and we're going back the other way now. This is almost a bit like that game against Southampton we were just talking about all those years ago, where they were doing the same for 25 minutes. Michail Antonio picks up the ball on the right wing, looks to beat his man. 2 on Antonio now, closing him right down. He's lost possession, but he's conceded a free kick, bringing Salisu down. What did you make of Antonio's debut for Jamaica the other night, Rio?
After all the kind of hype about it and his massive desire to represent Jamaica at national level, rather a bit of a damp squib, wasn't it? And the worry is he's gone out there, and a positive for us is that obviously nothing major happened. He hasn't played the extra games on top. But it's a long old journey for a fruitless and really almost pointless kind of exercise, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, they had 3 games, didn't they, Jamaica? And of course, Antonio was unable to play 2 of them because they were in countries, Mexico and Costa Rica, if I recall correctly, that are both on the UK government's red list. So the only game he could play was the home match against Panama, which is Rio says there. They were smashed 3-0. Ravel Morrison played as well, didn't he? And there was also another Hammer involved. Blair Turgott, I think, who was one of our youth academy players, was on the bench, didn't get to play, I think, that night.
Yep.
But what do you make? Sorry, buddy. What do you make of Ravel Morrison's renaissance at Derby County, by the way?
I'm actually delighted to see it. It was such a waste of a talent, the way his career's panned out. I mean, he should be playing for England. You know, he should be the person that Jack Grealish wants to replace. Yeah. And, you know, obviously Ravel's off-field activities and his personal situation haven't helped him at all. So I'm just really glad to see someone finally utilising his talent and getting regular football.
Yeah, totally agree. It's and do you also get the sense that this is like last chance saloon for him as well?
I think it's finally sunk in that this is his last opportunity. It's just a pity it's taken so long to wake up and smell that.
I think he's, 27 now, isn't he?
Yeah, easily 27, yeah.
Yeah, so he's probably in that position, probably got another, 4 years tops maybe at, as a pacey attacking midfielder. And I think you're absolutely right. It's a dreadful shame because he really could have been playing in the Euro finals, couldn't he? If he'd have stayed at it, kept at it, and not been beaten by his demons. But there you go. Sad story nonetheless. But anyway, coming back to the game here at St Mary's, Southampton breaking down the left, and Craig Dawson coming across well to snuff out the opportunity and put the ball into touch. 18 minutes gone. Southampton nil, West Ham United nil. Very, very quiet so far. There's been a booking, I think, for the Saints early on. Rowe was booked for that pretty dreadful lunge on Pablo Fornals, and Aaron Cresswell with West Ham's only effort at goal so far. A free kick that was blocked fell to the left back, which he blasted high into the crowd behind the goal. So it's still goalless here. A couple of comments coming in from the live chat. Jeff says 3-0. Fancies a 3-0. We'll take that, Jeff, wouldn't we? All day long. Polaroid also going for a 3-0 West Ham. Loving the optimism, guys out there this afternoon. Gavin Chandler saying, yes, I think Bowen will shine today. Hi, Lee. Good to see you. Tommy Rogers, if you look at the KUMB.com forum, there is a thread there entitled Streaming Links 2122, and you may find one or two links in there that you can utilise. Of course, we can't possibly promote those, but I believe they are there nonetheless. Hi, Sean. Sean, good to see you. Sean saying, welcome back, Rio. Mark, good to see you as well, buddy, on the stream. Let us know what you think of the game so far. If you think David Moyes was right to keep all of the transfer window signings on the bench this afternoon. 19 minutes gone. We're in the 20th minute now. West Ham now looking to break. Craig Dawson bursting forward. He's into the final third of the pitch. Lays it out wide to Vladimir Soufal, who looks inside for options. There's nothing there as he's closed down by two. And he plays the ball into touch. It's a Southampton throw-in. Vladimir Soufal, Rio. I wouldn't say he's had critics this season, but a few people on the KUMB forum have mentioned that he hasn't quite matched his form of last season. Now, of course, we had that little bit of a disagreement, didn't we, in the summer about his contract situation, saying that he felt he was undervalued by the club. What do you make of what you've seen of him so far? I mean, obviously, he's had a busy summer as well, playing for the Czechs throughout in the Euros. Yeah,
I mean, you've also got to factor in, I mean, Thomas Souček hasn't looked the same player as he did last season. That both the Czech boys have had very busy summers. He must have taken a lot out of them. You're not going to hit the heights of his last season's form necessarily week in, week out, because he was absolutely immense, the pair of them were. So, yeah, I just think it's fatigue more than anything. Obviously, like the contract situation probably hasn't helped, but I think he's professional enough to get on with that, and that's a side issue for him. You know, when he plays football, he's concentrating on the football fully. I just think very long summer, and it's a little bit of fatigue.
Southampton's just gone very close, and actually big props to Craig Dawson. Danipo has just cut inside from the left-hand side, about 12 yards from goal, tried to curl one into the curl one off into the far corner. And I think it's goal bound, and I don't think Fabianski would have got to it, but that big head of Craig Dawson's got in the way and managed to nod it out for the corner. So I think Dawson's probably saved a certain goal there, but we'll just stick with it for a moment because Ward-Prowse is taking the corner. It's an outswinger, which Pablo Fornells heads on. Jarrod Bowen gets another header, and then there's another header from Said Benrahma, but West Ham managed to keep the ball from danger there. Good stuff from Craig Dawson, and I guess there you go, answering his critics already, Rio.
Yeah, he's got a massive point to prove. He's got £30 million worth of talent breathing down his neck. If he doesn't perform, he knows that his days are numbered. You know, he's going to be the third or fourth choice centre-back that we initially bought him as. He's done incredibly well. He's just, towards the end of last season, he kind of tailed off. There's a few errors creeping in.
Yeah.
This season, he's not been at the races. But it's the perfect way for him to respond. Yeah. He's got big money signed sitting on the bench waiting to take his place. So he has to perform. Otherwise, he's out. Do you want me to go to the forum, Gray?
If you can. I've just had a message coming from elsewhere saying that there's a bit of a problem, but it seems to be okay from here. And before we do that, we've just seen a cross coming from the right-hand side, and it's almost caught Lucas Fabianski out. It would have sailed into the top corner. Now, let's just have a look at this again, because it's... Okay, so Fabianski's feet have actually gone behind the line, but he's managed to keep the ball like that from following him over the line. Obviously, a misplaced cross coming in from Southampton's right-hand side, but looks like the Saints are beginning to get back into it a little bit. Anyway, Rio, if you can get into the forum, let's go. Yeah,
what I was just about to say, it's a bit of a tongue-in-cheek comment, actually, because Wolf359 has put 17 minutes in and not one post. What a great game. But that is because, and also he was a little bit wrong there because someone posted about 10 seconds before him. So in midst typing, there's a few more comments filtering through, but obviously there's not a lot happening either on the pitch or on the forum at the moment.
No, nowhere. West Ham have the ball, looking to attack, and yet again it's snuffed out. Jarrod Bowen picks the ball up, but West Ham retain possession. It's all very bitty at the moment at both ends. We'll have to have a look at the Southampton forum, I think, if we can in a short while. I think it's Saints Web. We haven't managed to. Let me just do that while there's a kind of break in play. I'll see if I can bring that one up. And yes. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Coke going down the wrong hole. I'll see what we've got from Saints Web. It's not that busy on there either, unfortunately. I guess everybody's on the game. I can tell you that Mr. X, a Southampton fan, has just said, I think we're going to get hit on the break here after doing okay. So it seems that natural optimism extends beyond, East London all the way down to the south coast anyway. But 0-0 Rio, 23. So we're just after halfway through the first half. 24 minutes we're coming up to now. No goals, but Southampton beginning to get, a little bit, not quite a stranglehold, but maybe just tickling West Ham's neck instead.
Yeah, now just begin to feel their way into the game, causing a couple of little problems. The Fabianski near error a moment ago was very reminiscent of Paul Konchesky scoring in the FA Cup final. It was a totally miss-hit cross.
Yep.
And we've been a little bit critical of Fab this season. He dug himself out a massive hole there, but that could have ended up incredibly embarrassing and could have signalled the end of him and Areola being their full-time keeper, I believe.
What was your view on that? I know that Nick, when we were talking on the transfer window show, said he felt that Areola should come in today. We'll come back to that in a second because Jarrod Bowen's got the ball looking dangerous. Pablo Fornals picks it up, looks out left to Aaron Cresswell. Cresswell back in to Pablo Fornals. It's Declan Rice on the ball now. Rice looks to switch it out. It's another poor ball. West Ham just can't quite get it together, and Soufal in the end conceding a pretty needless free kick, but Southampton have the ball nonetheless. Yeah, Areola, what's your view? Who would you have played today, Rio?
I actually would have gone with Areola, to be honest.
Okay.
Fab's the last year and a bit, he's showing signs of creaking a little bit. He's picked up injuries in the warm-up, I think 2 or 3 occasions.
Yeah.
He doesn't look as agile as he used to. His reaction's a little bit slower. He looks like he's got a mistake in him now. And I couldn't see the point of bringing Areola, who had an absolute fine season for Fulham last year. He's 6'7", incredibly agile, got great reflexes. He's the kind of presence you need in goal. And a creaking Fabianski isn't filling me with any kind of optimism at times. So I don't think it'd be long before Areola cements his place and it'll be his for the rest of his career here.
Yeah, I guess at his age, he's probably got a good 10 years ahead of him, hasn't he? But definitely looks like the natural successor. Southampton just had a little moment there where West Ham looked like they were under pressure, but the Hammers managing to hold firm, and no side's really got a grip of this game so far. But just going back very briefly to Fabianski, he gave quite an extensive interview in the week to a Polish media outlet, which I wouldn't dare try to pronounce. There's too many consonants in it and just no vowels really, as is often the way with the Polish language, shall we say. But what was interesting is, of course, Fabianski has retired from international football. He announced his retirement after the end of the Euros. Come back to that in a moment because Southampton breaking. It's very dangerous down the right-hand side. The ball's played low into the centre, but again, I think it's Dawson who's there to avert the danger. Now, West Ham have got an opportunity to break here. Pablo Fornals has picked up the ball on the left-hand side, bursting into the Southampton half, looks up, there's options to his right. A clever little 1-2 with Ben Rama, and the ball's out to the left. This is dangerous. Antonio was... Whoa! Wasn't the greatest cross, as you can probably tell from my reaction. But West Ham somehow have maintained possession. Soufal inside to Souček. Souček looks up and plays it back to Declan Rice in that pivotal position. Rice, who's been playing so well of late, finds Fornals, another player who's been absolutely magnificent for some time now for West Ham. We're just seeing Antonio pick the ball up, holds off his marker, looks to turn and play Bowen in. But again, it's 2 men all the time. 2 men on Antonio all the time. He's not really getting any getting any space at all. But West Ham keeping the pressure on, keeping possession here, just can't break through a very, very solid and determined Southampton defence. Just really two banks of four looking at it there as you'd expect, and West Ham finding trouble. Here's a chance. Ben Rama now drops his shoulder, but still can't beat his defender. And now Southampton have the chance to break. Lucas Fabianski, Rio. Anyway, we were going to come back to what he said. Yes, he announced his retirement from international football earlier this month. And just speaking to the Polish media outlet that I won't dare pronounce, said, "I'm proud the adventure lasted 15 years, but the most recent period, the end of the previous season, the injury I suffered made me understand that there are a lot of burdens. And I knew there'd be more because West Ham will be playing in the Europa League this season. I don't know if my body would have been able to cope with all of this if I hadn't resigned from the national team, especially since the last time I suffered a more serious injury some 2 years ago. Even in the club, they decided that when it comes to physical preparation, it's better to look at me individually. They're careful not to exploit me too much. So I think that the decision I made might also extend my club career. When I analysed all this, it turned out that saying goodbye to the national team after the Euros would be the most sensible solution." So clearly, we've said it, haven't we, on these streams and in the stadiums, that it looks like Fabianski is not quite as agile as he maybe once was. And there, I guess he's admitting that's the case and really trying to concentrate on playing for West Ham now and extend his club career.
Yeah, it's a very admirable kind of thought. But the thing with Areola, first choice at Fulham, as we said, I think we've got an obligation to buy in the summer, isn't it, for about £13 million?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And traditionally, we don't spend much on keepers. I think actually Fabianski is probably our biggest outlay, particularly in the Sullivan era. Mm-hmm. So I can't actually see Areola coming here and not being the long-term number one. I don't think he'll be content to sit on the bench for any more than one season. So, I think Fabianski's... It's glad that he understands that his body's not quite up to the rigours of at least 2-3 games a week, and certainly not at the international level as well. Yeah. But I just think that it's also the mission. I think he knows his club career's on a wind down as well.
Yeah, I guess, when you're up against someone as competent as Areola, been fantastic, isn't he? Or was fantastic for Fulham last season. Definitely looks like the long-term successor. Did you get that feeling with Alex Kral as well, coming in maybe as Declan Rice's potential succestor?
There's a nasty air of it, isn't it? The rumours about Declan leaving in next summer, they continue to linger and circulate like an incredibly bad smell. And I think we've all been kind of honest at the fact that we don't see him having a long-term future here, unless we possibly undergo a change of ownership and a change of direction in the way that we recruit players and have the confidence to kind of chase trophies and change our mentality as a club. We'd love to see Declan stay for the rest of his career, but he's actually imperious now, not just at domestic level, but international level as well. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's still bigger fish for him to join.
West Ham have a corner. Meanwhile, back in the game, Michael Antonio did absolutely brilliantly to regain possession for the Hammers, stealing the ball. The ball came to Jared Bowen, who tried his luck from 21 yards, and it deflected off a Saints defender behind the goal. And Aaron Cresswell is about to take West Ham's first corner of the match. It's going to be an outswinger because it's coming from the left-hand side. Dawson and Ogbonna and Antonio lining up in that train-style formation that we saw so frequently with England during the Euros. The ball comes in and, it's close. Dawson nearly got on the end of it. Ogbonna perhaps, but West Ham still have the chance. Declan Rice can put the ball into the box. He crosses, and it's an easy take for Southampton's goalkeeper, McCarthy. But better stuff from the Hammers. We've eulogised, haven't we, over Michail Antonio, obviously the Premier League Player of the Month for August. We'll come back to it in a moment because Said Benrahma's out on the left. He's got a chance to put the ball in the middle. He does cross, but it's headed out only as far as Thomas Souček, who tries his luck. It's cannoned off Jack Stevens, and Southampton regain possession. Nothing really happening for the Hammers so far. Where was I, Rhea? I've completely lost track. What was I saying?
Now, you're going to come back to Michail Antonio, Premier League Player of the Month.
Talk to me about Michail Antonio. I mean, fully deserved, wasn't it? Really a bit of a shoe in that one.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been a bit of a, how can I put it? No, it's been an absolute beast, hasn't he, this season? He's developed a real striker's instinct. Where you wouldn't expect him to finish at half the chances that he has in the past for us. But he's absolutely bullet defenders. The way he scored that goal against Palace last week, absolute pure muscle and power, and a finish that any top-class striker would have been incredibly proud of. His intelligent link-up play for the first goal. He's just been an absolute warrior up front for us. And, everyone had their doubts about him leading the line all season. But the way he's playing at the moment, is a joy to behold. And he's a threat for any side in the world. Yeah,
totally agree. He's absolutely enjoying his football. You can see it. Another player who, going back to what you were saying a few moments ago, Declan Rice, just a couple of moments of brilliance from him, just there nipping the ball off an attacker on the edge of West Ham's penalty box as Southampton were looking dangerous, and then spraying a lovely ball out wide to build West Ham's next attack, which we're on now. It's Declan Rice on the ball again as we speak. A little 1-2 with Aaron Cresswell. And now he finds his midfield partner, Soucek, who turns, pulls the ball out to Craig Dawson. Craig Dawson drives, probably just rolls the car off the drive, actually, into Southampton's half. It's back with Ogbonna. Ogbonna finds Rice. West Ham just trying to find a gap. There's nothing there at the moment. Southampton defending doggedly this afternoon, being very well set up by Mr. Hustenhutl, who, as we said, is very smartly attired this afternoon in a suit. Here's a chance for Michail Antonio. He's gone through, taken out by 3 defenders, but West Ham have the ball again. No, they don't. Southampton regain possession, and a chance for Armstrong to break here. One thing I've noticed, I'm sure it hasn't evaded your attention either, is that Southampton have always got at least 2 players on Michail Antonio. And we saw Hasenhüttl during his press conference on Thursday remark on just what, a troublesome opponent Antonio would be for them today.
Yeah, it's just a mark of respect about how well Mikel's playing and the type of way that he plays. He's so bullish and he's so aggressive. He's an absolute handful. But with the way that we line up, with 3 attacking players in behind him, you hope that them throwing 2 players on him at all times would open up, free a little bit of space up for the likes of Ben Rama, Fornells, Bowen to exploit and create more chances, That's the beauty of having a striker like that who occupies more than one defender. It frees up space for others to kind of come in and exploit and hopefully take their chances as well.
We've just seen Jared Bowen brought down by a very, very late challenge. I'm very surprised that referee Coote hasn't raised his yellow card for the second time this afternoon here. Jared Bowen, it was who took the ball away from a player, and it's a nailed-on yellow card from Southampton. Southampton's number 24. As Bowen escapes him, he flicks a foot out and to make sure that he brings Bowen down. El Yunusi is the player, and quite how he's got away with not getting booked there, I'm not sure, but he'll know that he's got away with one there. But 36 minutes gone. I think it was about this time we scored against Palace, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was around about this time. Unfortunately, deficiencies come to the fore again, but you'd hope we kind of learn from those lessons. We've conceded too many soft goals this season already. But look where we are in the league. Look at our table. Look at the way that our attackers have responded. I know we shouldn't have to outscore teams every week.
Yeah.
We should be able to go into games thinking one will be enough. But, we need to learn from lessons, and hopefully we will do that, And obviously with the increased choices on the bench, there's a lot of competition for places now. And the players in the first team who haven't been quite in the races this season have to respond and have to up their game.
Southampton just played a very, very dangerous looking ball in from the left-hand side. It's into that famous corridor of uncertainty along the edge of the 6-yard box. Just trying to see who it was who played the ball in, but Aaron Cresswell has made sure that it didn't reach a Southampton player at the end of it. It's Perro who played the ball across, and Cresswell just putting it out for a corner. So the Saints with what I believe is their first corner, I think, Rio, isn't it, today?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, no, it might be the second, actually, because I think Ward-Prowse took one, didn't he, a couple of minutes ago.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So Yeah, so I think it's Ward-Prowse again. One hand goes up. It's going to be another outswinger. It's delivered into the centre of the area, cleared out by Dawson yet again. The shot comes in from the edge of the box, and it's way over the bar from Dnipro. So good defensive work by the Hammers, and these are the things that we need to do better, isn't it, Ray? You alluded to it just a few moments ago that we haven't kept a clean sheet yet this season, been leaking goals, and we need to be a lot more solid. And to be fair, we've looked pretty solid defensively today.
Yeah, it's been a marked improvement today, and long may it continue. I do think the amount of money we spent over the last week or so, that it is a statement of intent, and it's a statement of those on the pitch that if you want to retain your place in a successful team, in a club that is potentially going to go places, because we look like completely rejuvenated in the terms of playing staff, the way we operate on the pitch. You have to perform week in, week out. There can't be none of soft goals conceded anymore.
Yeah. Yes, some real quality on West Ham United's bench today for the first time since, well, I can't remember actually. we certainly haven't had the kind of options that David Moyes hasn't had the kind of options that he does today for a while. Mark Lamb saying that, Jesus, you lads look a lot better than Lee Hendry on Sky. He looks like a walking charity shop. Not quite sure what that means. Well, what's he? Let us know what he's wearing, Mark. I don't have access to Sky, unfortunately, but let us know what togs he's wearing. Steve Peace says, afternoon, guys. Absolutely agree with Rio's point. If you leak 2 goals a week, you'll drop more points than you gain. I hope that Zuma will help us tighten up at the back. The guys out there at the moment are doing a pretty good job, aren't they, Steve? But of course, we've had problems already this season, as we've already said. But we are anyway approaching the 41st minute mark. West Ham, Fornals breaks down the left, floats across over, but it's another easy one for McCarthy to claim some 7 or 8 yards from goal. Good stuff from the Hammers, though, but just lacking that end product at the moment, Rio. Michail Antonio, as we said, has been well, shepherded, sort of marked out the game pretty much so far. And, not a lot of, lots of attacking intent, but just no real end product so far.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of surprise. I mean, the way we played this season, creating chances and obviously finishing them hasn't been a problem. So, I mean, it may be kind of a hangover from the international break. There's been a lot of football played by a lot of these players.
Yeah.
And someone was actually pointing out in the forum that in the 3 o'clock kickoffs in the Premier League at the moment, as they posted, I don't know if it's changed since about 2 or 3 minutes ago, all 6 games are goalless.
Are they really?
So, yeah, I think someone joined Manchester United or something the other week, and I never really heard of him, but apparently big things were expected of him, but obviously he ain't done sod or either, so I don't know what the hype's about.
If anyone knows who Rio might be referring to, let us know.
I think it's an Irish player, Ron something. Ron O something.
Mr. R. Onaldo, by perchance. We are approaching the half-time interval, 41 minutes gone. Southampton have a free kick. That's 1, 2, 3, 18, 36, about 38 yards from goal. It's played short and it's actually played back. And West Ham jog out to close down Southampton. And the Hammers winning possession. It's Vladimir Soufalin really strongly to win the ball quickly. And West Ham look to counter. The Hammers physically look very imposing this afternoon, that's for sure. And the Saints are not really able to match us, out there at the moment, but certainly matching us as far as the score goes. It is Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. I mean, Rio, just assuming it was to stay like this, at what point does David Moyes think about bringing on 1 or 2 of those rather expensive subs he's got sitting on the bench, keeping themselves warm?
I mean, I'd sit up to probably about the hour mark, the 65-minute mark.
Yeah.
Obviously, look, they haven't had a lot of time to integrate with the squad, as we mentioned. But as we said, the likes of Souček, Fornals, Soufal, they've all played a lot of football. I don't think that Soufal and Souček had a break from the international squad this week. I think they played all 3 games.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah. And it's a big strain on players. So maybe they might look to kind of change that up in midfield and introduce a little bit of fresh legs. I mean, I know that Vlasic also played a lot of game time for Croatia.
Yep.
But just to see what we can do, just to introduce a little bit of a different mix and a different component to our attacking options.
Yeah, I think Kroll was sub, wasn't he, in there?
Yeah, I think he was sub for at least one of the games and possibly two.
Was it the Ukraine game? I think when they played, we've got the picture of the three players, didn't we? With Yarmolenko, I think it ended 1-1. But anyway, we digress. 2 minutes to go till halftime. West Ham once again with possession, 10 yards inside the Southampton half. Craig Dawson looks up, no one to pass it to, so he goes short to Ben Rama. Ben Rama inside to Souček. Souček looks up in the centre of the pitch, closed down by two Southampton players, rolls it to his left, where Declan Rice picks up the ball. It's going to come back to him, I think. Nice, easy pass, and indeed it does. Souček comes back to Dawson, so we're back where we started. Dawson now, out wide on the right to Soufal, who looks for options, cuts inside, nothing on, rolls it back to Dawson. Dawson finds Souček. We're going round in circles here, not a lot happening. And in the end, it's Souček losing possession, and Southampton look to break quickly as West Ham scurry back in numbers. And it's another really, really poor ball from Southampton, and nothing is coming off for them at the moment. And West Ham look to build again. Apparently, Rio, there's a certain team from North London that have now gone 5 hours without scoring a goal, according to my stats on the BBC. I wonder what.
Aren't a great side, are they?
I wonder what the atmosphere is like down at the Emirates this afternoon. Arsenal, of course, at home to Norwich. They're fellow strugglers, and I would imagine there's going to be murders at half time there if Arsenal haven't scored by the break. But anyway, we're not worried about them. We're just thinking about West Ham. We've just seen Michail Antonio go to the floor. He took an arm to the face, and he went down rather too easily, I think, for the assistant referee's liking there, and play is waved on. Southampton looks great. Probably the last chance, or maybe the last chance of the first half, and Southampton looking to break the deadlock as we move into added on time. Have we seen any indication of how long we've got yet, Rio? Have you seen anything?
Not seen anything come up on my stream at all, no.
No, me neither. So we'll wait on that. +1, just come up on the screen at 1 minute. So this will be the last attack of the half. Southampton break into the box. It's played into the centre. Dangerous looking ball, but yet again, the man of the match for me so far, Craig Dawson, is first there and whacks the ball long to Michail Antonio. Antonio going down under the pressure of Southampton Salisu and wins a free kick for West Ham. So we might get one more chance in the first half here. There's about 30 seconds of added on time left to go, or at least the 1 minute that's been called. Now, will West Ham hoof this one into the box, get numbers forward, bearing in mind there are only seconds to go? Let's see. Antonio is certainly making his way towards the 18-yard area. Who's going to take this one? Will it be Soufal? No, it's going to be Jared Bowen, who's trotted all the way back to the centre circle, or in line with the centre circle, to take this. He's going to put this in the box, though. So we've just seen Souček and Dawson go up. This will be one last chance for West Ham before the halftime whistle goes. It's a poor delivery. It's just about made the edge of the box, and that looked like a foot up in the face of Souček. But David Coote is unmoved, and he looks at his watch and decides that is enough for the first half. So we go into the break, and it is at St Mary's, Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. Rio, your assessment of the first half, buddy?
It's been a little bit disjointed. We've been largely in control. There's been nothing to worry about, apart from one cross that Fabianski made a bit of a dog's dinner out of. But largely we've been in control. We just haven't really found their cutting edge yet. We haven't found that one incisive pass, that one telling run. You know, it does look like we've got a little bit of a hangover from the international break.
Yeah.
But at the two sides, we look far more in control and far more threatening.
I can tell you Manchester United have scored, and that Irish bloke we were just talking about has put the ball in the back of the net from about 6 inches out. He won't have an easier chance than that. The Newcastle keeper spilling a long-range shot that was deflected, and Mr. Ronaldo there to put the home side one up. Anyway, a Ronaldo of our own is joining us now, a former... I'm trying to make a link. I can't do it now. I can't do it. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. What do you make of the first half? Has it been for you?
It's not great to hear you, not because of the connection. It's just cameras and a lot of empty seats in the ground, not in our bit, probably only about 2 people.
Yeah. You're very, very quiet now. We can barely hear you at all. I don't know if you can put the mic a little bit closer to your lips.
How's that?
That's better. That's better. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so not a full stadium. I think we've still got Noam. We've kind of got a. Oh, you are? Yes.
I'm struggling to hear.
Well, we can hear you, but your video has frozen on the side of your face. But we can hear you. So
yeah, it's weak because I'm trying to get near the microphone. Make your mind up.
Well, give us your assessment of what you've seen so far. Are you pleased with that opening 45 minutes?
It's been better. Final ball has been the main problem. A couple of times where it's broken down. Other teams do like break a little bit quicker than Southampton do. Might put us under a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit worried about how much time the guy on their left wing has got sometimes.
Yeah.
Always just been 2 against Southampton there. But yeah, I mean, about the right score, I think.
What did you make of the? I don't know if you saw it, but we felt that there was a nailed-on yellow for a foul on Jared Bowen shortly before half-time. I don't know if you saw that.
All day long, he was just patched down. He had his feet and all ends up.
Yeah.
Down. Why is that not yellow? Just tell me.
Yeah, we definitely agree. It's even the replay showed that the Southampton player flicked his leg out as he went by. It was I think it was pretty obvious one. But Rio, what have you got for Noam? Any questions for our man at St Mary's?
I'm just thinking, how do you think Antonio's doing? Obviously, he's getting double teamed most of the time, but he looks looks a little bit leggy today.
Yeah, it's been a cross halfway across the leg. Sorry, we're getting a bit of feedback from the PA now. But yeah, I mean, we're not playing him in a lot either. He's making a bit of a nuisance of himself, but it seems about 10% short of his usual. There's a pitch ratio. He's probably only on about 80-90% at the moment.
What do you predict for the second half here? I mean, we were chatting earlier about, you know, if it stays 0-0, how long does David Moyes wait to bring on one of these two or three super subs that he's got on the bench? What do you make of that?
Not really sure. Obviously, they're on the bench, so that's what indicates it's going to be for 30 years. I don't think it'll be a quick change.
Yeah.
Maybe we're still 20 minutes.
Were you surprised to see Zuma and Vlasic and Kral on the bench today?
What you mean as opposed to playing?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we felt, as I said, Nick and I were talking earlier in the week, we felt that Zuma was probably the most likely player to get a start because, Dawson's had one or two rickety moments, hasn't he? But David Moyes keeping faith, as Rio pointed out, that's his thing, isn't it? He will do that. He'll keep faith with his, his existing players.
I mean, I think they're on the bench really because if you think about it, none of them have seen upgrading till Wednesday, Thursday, maybe Thursday at the early.
Yeah.
So, she's not trained with the team, with time to sort of get yourself in and know what's expected of you when you play. So, no, that didn't surprise me at all.
Okay.
Might be next week,
yeah. Of course, gentlemen, there's something we haven't touched on yet. There was a result earlier on. We've not even mentioned it. Rio, do you want to tell everyone who might not be aware what the score in that game was?
Yeah, West Ham ladies drew 1-1 at home to Aston Villa, letting the last-minute injury time goal, which was very disappointing. Apparently, in South London, Tottenham ladies turned up and they played Crystal Palace men, and it didn't go too well, I'm afraid.
It didn't, did it? What was the final score?
I believe it was 3-0 to Crystal Palace.
3-0.
The Crystal Palace, who didn't have a point until last week when they played, well, the other week when they played us. And against the Tottenham side, who some of their fans were lauding it that this is their year. I don't know if I've ever heard that phrase from them before. But yeah, maybe not.
There is one in it, isn't it? That's their thing, isn't it? But no. What did you make of that result? A bit of a surprise from Selhurst Park today. I don't know if no one can hear us.
Yeah, I didn't wait for the last bit, mate.
Sorry, I was just saying. Did you were you surprised by that result from Selhurst Park earlier today?
Yeah, I thought it'd be 5 or 6, but obviously managed to get into there.
Yeah.
But no, this is not their year. That was their week. I think
that was their week. Well, as things stand, Tottenham, despite getting thumped by the Glaziers, stroke Eagles at Selhurst Park earlier, remain top of the Premier League with 9 points from 4 games. West Ham, as things stand, still second. We would have 8 from 4 if it stays like this. Man United, who, interestingly, Manchester United, Rio said a few moments ago, there hadn't been a single goal in the Premier League at that point. But we saw Manchester United score in the second minute, I think it was, of added on time at the end of their game, and that is the only goal so far in the Premier League. So I guess we're hoping for a bit more entertainment in the second half.
Yeah, a bit more incisiveness. I mean, there was one point there where we'd had the ball for ages and we were sort of probing and probing. Now, pace is all very good, but then when you sort of finish that off with a lazy back to it, it puts us in trouble.
We can't actually hear you right now. No, all we can hear is the stadium announcer who's shouting over you most rudely. She clearly doesn't know that we've got a live link here at to St Mary's.
And we're also going to get a little bit of a flash from the water thing, the hose, right? So, but the point is, we're playing it early when we shouldn't, and we're holding on to it when we shouldn't. We need to get that decision making the right way round.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look. Thank you very much for joining us at half time. Hopefully, we can let's see if we can get you back again at the end of the game for a summary of 90 minutes, and let's hope we're cheering another West Ham win come the final whistle.
Anyway, if you look right behind the goal, I made Rose back, right in the middle of the goal. There will be a tackle.
All right, we'll keep an eye out for you. Give us a wave if the ball comes your way.
Will do.
All right, buddy. See you again soon. Have a good second half. There you go. So there you go. So that's Noam, our live correspondent this afternoon from St Mary's. You heard it. 8 rows back behind the goal. If you see him, let us know on the stream. But yes, we're still second in the Premier League, Rio, as things stand. And obviously we could be top if we can grab a goal in the second half, and that'd be wonderful, wouldn't it?
Again, unnatural, but yeah, absolutely wonderful. It's a mark of how far we've come, isn't it? In a very short space of time, that a team that was really struggling at the start of last season and struggling to find their feet is now comfortably in the top upper echelons of the Premier League, and we absolutely deserve to be there.
Isn't it strange though? I mean, you and I, let's be honest, we've followed the club, man and boy, and all that sort of thing, and it's I assume the other side. I just find it really difficult when we mentioned it in the first half when David Moyes is giving pre-match press conferences talking about, going out and winning these games when for years and years, we've never really thought of that. It's tough, isn't it? It's tough to kind of think this is a West Ham team that can compete with the best, and it can, surely.
Yeah. Shaking off that ingrained mentality that we're largely inferior is going to take probably about 5 or 6 Champions Leagues to kind of shake off, I think. But it's completely unnatural, really. And I think it's always been a part of the beauty of being a West Ham fan, isn't it? That inane ability to kind of laugh at yourself, approach games with no sense of optimism, just like, I think, let's just enjoy the day out. We was always happy seeing a really good performance, a wholehearted performance, and getting the odd result here and there. Now we're going into games thinking, we can rightly win this. We can rightly challenge the top sides. We've got nothing to fear. And barring 2 or 3 seasons in my lifetime, I've never felt like this, and it's never sat comfortably with me. And I've never shaken off that mindset that, it's all going to come tumbling down at any given time, Yeah. And knowing West Ham, it could be next 20 seconds, next 20 minutes. But at the moment, it looks like the next 20 months.
Well, let's hope so. The longer this goes on, the better for all of us. It's fantastic. And I just wanted to touch also on a point. I mean, you spoke in the first half. We were talking about Pablo Fornals, and you said that he's just an immensely likable character. And I saw something someone posted on Twitter in the week, and they were talking about our whole team and just saying that this is probably the first time since that 1985-86 season when we've had such an immensely likable football team. I mean, you go through the side, you've got Declan Rice, who just loving life, isn't he? Every time he steps out on a pitch. Pablo Fornals, Michail Antonio, who is absolutely enjoying the best moment of his career, and he's loving. You feel that across the team is the point I'm trying to make. And do you agree with that? This really is it's not just we're playing good football, but it's good to see players that you actually want to back and enjoy watching do so well.
Yeah, I also think it's testament to the fact that in our side, we actually have characters rather than these identical by the numbers footballers who come and go and you wouldn't recognise them in the street. We've got an absolute bunch here that have got some kind of absolute character to them. Yeah, you've got the Iron Man of like Vladimir Soufal, who you think, if he doesn't smile at you, he's going to actually punch your lights out. You've got Declan, who's, as you say, he's loving life right now, and has become a leader of men, not just for the club, but for his country as well. Yep. You've got Antonio, whose goal celebrations more or less inject some sort of humour. Can you imagine Ronaldo doing the Simpsons dance, rotating on the floor as a goal celebration? No, he's an identical by the numbers football megastar who's, let's face it, boring as hell. When we've got interesting people playing for us, we've got Fornals plays with a smile on his face every week. Even Craig Dawson, who is probably the weakest link in our side at the moment, but his story is one of real kind of, it's heartwarming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Discarded largely and derided by Watford fans. And he's in the Europa League side because he came in as a 4th choice, played a couple of games and was undroppable because he just cemented that back 4. And he brought a real strength into his game, and he completely changed his career around, I think.
Yeah, it's really is a footballing rags to riches, isn't it? We're just seeing pictures of Craig Dawson on the pitch now. I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, he was West Ham's best player in that first half.
Yeah, he had a real point to prove, and you can't fault his character because he was pretty much faultless in that first half. You can't criticise one aspect of his game today. Long may it continue. And what an interesting conundrum. £30 million centre-back on the bench, French caps, and he's still being kept out the side. I know it's only probably temporarily at the moment. Yep. By virtually a free transfer from Watford. It's a strange old world at times.
It's certainly, especially a West Ham world. Southampton have kicked off. The second half is underway. We're 12 seconds in. Southampton on our screens anyway. Of course, you won't all have access to the pictures. Southampton kicking from left to right. It is 0-0, goalless at the break. We're just seeing Southampton look to create the first attack of the second half, and Vladimir Soufal concedes a free kick. A little bit harshly, but I think it was a foul. Mark Lamb says, does anyone remember the opening match of the season at the Dell around 1988? Lost 4-0. We definitely have improved these days. Indeed, we do, Mark, because we were discussing it earlier on in the stream. As I said, my abiding memory of that day was the away end being pretty much uniformly bedecked in smiley t-shirts and lots of dungarees, as was the way in that second summer of love, I think it was, wasn't it? 1988, rain dance and all that sort of stuff going on. And yes, but anyway, back to the game, back to 2000 to 2021. Southampton have the free kick. It's whipped into the box, dangerous looking in-swinging ball, but it's that man again, Craig Dawson, up to deny Southampton the opportunity to profit. Pablo Fornals picks up the ball, and it's a quick ball straight down the channel for Ben Rahman. Ben Rahman's got behind the defence here. He's got support from Jared Bowen, doesn't take it. A little back heel for Michail Antonio. It's just behind Antonio, but Antonio manages to keep possession, tries his luck, low to McCarthy's left-hand side, but it's a fairly standard save for the keeper. But first action of the second half, and you know, West Ham at their best there, Rio. 3 touches and the ball's gone from one end to the other.
It's what we do so supremely well, and it's the first time that, because of the way Southampton lined up against us, that we've been afforded that opportunity to do that. Yeah, I've just seen it appear in my stream. It came initially from a really comedy defensive effort by Fornals, who had a wild swing at it, and the ball just ended up behind him. Thankfully, it wasn't picked up by a Southampton player, but he launched a very promising ball forwards. And as you say, you know, it was a decent effort there. Probably our best one of the game. Yeah, but yeah, it's because Southampton afforded that space, and because they're defending so deep against us, we can't hit on a counter-attack like this. Just because their set piece broke down, we was afforded that opportunity.
The shot actually reminded me of one of Antonio's goals against Newcastle. I think it was from a very similar position, wasn't it? Where he came in on the right-hand side and fired across the keeper. But anyway, 3 minutes gone in the second half. Southampton have a corner. Broken yet again down that left-hand side. The cross deflected behind for a Southampton corner by Vladimir Soufal, who another one that, you know, we spoke about earlier. I think he's had a fairly decent game so far, hasn't
he? Yeah, very much so. I mean, someone mentioned on the forum that Southampton are targeting our right-hand side. I don't know if it's because they think maybe a lot of fatigue from the international break has come in. Maybe it's not protected enough down that side.
Yep.
But yeah, he's largely dealt with it pretty well. There's nothing to worry about that I can see.
Ward-Prowse with the corner. It's an in-swinger this time, goes to the near post. And yet again, Craig Dawson rises highest to nod the ball out. It's only semi-cleared, and a header comes back in from a Saints player who's shot I couldn't quite see, but it's an easy save for Lucas Fabianski. And there he's twice already. Our man, there he is, Craig Dawson, stepping up. Doing a fabulous job. First 5 minutes, pretty much first 4 minutes, should I say, of the second half gone. Can we see this one stay 0-0, Rio?
No, I think the longer the game goes on, a little bit more fatigue will kick in, gaps will open up, and it's just down to exploit it. I mean, we've got the far more superior attacking players. Yeah, all they've got off the bench, really, I can think could trouble us is Shay Adams. I never thought I'd ever say that in a million years, because I think he's absolutely rank. But, you know, we've got X amount of international class on the bench at our disposal. If anyone's going to exploit any gaps and any tiredness, any weaknesses, surely it's got to be us.
Declan Rice with a surging run through the centre. Lays it short to Fornals. Fornals plays it out wide to Bowen. Bowen a little 1-2. With Soufal. The ball's played down the right-hand side to Antonio. Puts a low cross in, looking for Jared Bowen, but the danger is averted by a Saints defender who's absolutely Salisu is, who thinks that it took a touch off of Bowen, but the referee Coot doesn't agree, and Soufal has The throw-in for West Ham in line with the edge of the 18-yard box. Little 1-2-2 with Fornals, who plays the ball in. Michael Antonio attempts a quite impossible overhead kick from about 6 inches off the ground. Not sure I've ever seen that before. But West Ham keep possession. Fornals it is. Oh, and the ball almost falls loose for Jared Bowen. Very, very close. And West Ham had a real chance there. The ball, I think it was kind of just having a look at the replay now, looking at this one, Rio. I think it's Fornals sort of sticks a toe out, and I think it's a shot. And it almost falls for Jared Bowen. West Ham getting closer, though.
Yeah, we're starting to ask a few more questions. Yeah, and it's an interesting one for me. I think out of our...
Sorry.
That's all right now.
Corner come across, Aaron Cresswell, completely missed by everybody. And hang on, Southampton are breaking it. It's 1 against 1. Cresswell's the last man defending. Declan Rice has come in and put a fantastic challenge in. To see off the danger, but it's not over yet. I think you might be offside there, young man. And the shots eventually come in from Southampton's number 11, which is Nathan Redmond, who fires over the bar. Sorry, Rio, for cutting in there, but I thought West Ham had scored. I thought we'd got the opener there. I'm guessing you've seen that as well. But
I've just seen it. I've just seen their break now.
Is it? Oh, it's Ogbonna. It's Ogbonna. The ball's come across the corner, and he just can't make contact. But there's a possibility of holding by McCarthy on Michael Antonio there, I think. But nothing given anyway. But almost caught out on the counter again. Yeah,
almost caught out our own game now, which is a major worry. But excellent tidying up work by Mr. Incredible, which is what the only way I can describe him. His performances for England last week were absolutely immense, and he's done it again for West Ham. You know, he's just an absolutely incredible player.
Looks like Southampton are about to make a change here, Rio. Just waiting to see who's coming off. It's the number 27 coming on. Who's that coming off? It looks like, I think it was the guy who was booked with Rowe, I think, is coming off. I'm just waiting for confirmation. Diallo is coming on for Southampton. So Houston Holt will making change. It's pretty early, isn't it? Only 7 minutes after the break. Clearly didn't like what he was seeing out there in those first opening exchanges of the second half.
Yeah, it's not something that I really kind of flagged up as an immediate change for him. I don't think he's had a particularly awful game, but obviously he trusts the Ireland to make a change and try and exploit a bit of a weakness in our defence somehow. But Romeo has got a reputation of being a decent holding midfielder, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So maybe he just wants to alter the dynamics of their side and trying to ask a few more questions rather than sitting back.
53 minutes gone. Southampton nil, West Ham United nil. Rio, we haven't had a look at the forum yet, have we? Do you want to dive in and grab a few comments?
Yeah.
I shall interject should anything important happen.
I have a few lined up already. I've been borderline professional today.
Off you go, buddy.
Well, I would be if I've got an old one from the Saints web I found in the week, but I'll just skip that one for now.
All right.
Eastleigh Hammer 16 has put, I think going forward this season, we will start to see a lot of teams do this against us. Sit extremely deep and let us have possession. Let's hope Vlasic is someone who can lock the pack defence. New Jersey. I feel like I'm watching a top 6 team, i.e. us, play quite comfortably against an inferior team. We just need to step up a gear and finish off a chance or two. Hopefully my confidence will come to fruition. Bubbles 66 has put a truly miserable 45 minutes of football. Wherever Cuckoo's depressing punditry is perhaps psychologically fed into the players' heads via mind waves. Wouldn't know, never listened to Effin. Bowie needs to get more central and direct at times. He seems to have enough to trouble him, but our right side looks again suspect defensively. Ironing board. We play well with overall domination, but the forward players need to a lot more. I can see Vlasic coming on, potentially changing it. Luke Chadwick, the best thing so far is how good our third kit looks on the pitch. 61 Dixie. Soucek has been far too sloppy. If it was not for the poor final pass, we could have been in trouble there. Dawson has been their best player so far, so he's very much in agreement with us.
it was kind of uncanny. The moment you said Souček's been sloppy, he's just put a pass straight out into touch. Great synchronicity there. There's a flavour of what our fellow Hammers are thinking of what we've seen so far. 55 minutes into the game. Southampton 0, West Ham United 0 at St Mary's. Still waiting for that first goal to break the deadlock. Steve Page. Hi, Steve. Good to see you, buddy. Says we punish teams who come at us, but definitely struggle to break down teams who sit back. That's certainly been the case today, isn't it, Steve? From what we're seeing so far. But hopefully, as the game goes on a bit longer, then we'll start to exploit gaps that hopefully may appear. West Ham, as it stands, have a free kick, some 7 yards from Southampton's byline. A throw-in. It's played out to Southampton. The header's come in from Thomas Souček, and it's about 3 feet over the bar. The throw-in was given straight to Fornals. I think it was Fornals, who sent a dipping crossing from the right-hand side, given absolutely acres of space, no challenge at all. Allowed to pick his spot. It's Thomas Souček in the middle who nods over. We're just having another replay. Look at that on my stream anyway, that corner that Ogbonna couldn't quite get on the end of, Rio, but definitely you've got to say that was West Ham's best chance so far.
Absolutely, and it's one that you normally expect Angelo to kind of mop up. But now we don't think we've been quite at the races in terms of our set pieces this season.
Yeah.
And that kind of sums it all up for me. Getting caught under his feet when really the goal was gaping and he should have buried it.
Yeah, definite chance. And they clearly are at a premium here this afternoon. West Ham have a free kick. Fornals is sent to the floor. A late challenge from Livramento. So the Hammers have a dead ball situation. 30 yards from goal on the left-hand side, right by the touchline. It's going to be Aaron Cresswell who steps up to take it. I'm guessing he's going to look short. Declan Rice is pretending not to be involved in play, about 15 yards inside where Cresswell is positioned. Cresswell looks up to see if that pass is on. It probably isn't right now, so I think he's going to deliver one into the box. And Fornell steps over the ball. Angelo Ogbonna looks menacing on the edge of the box, waiting for the free kick to come in. Cresswell indicates that he wants some more players to go central. Southampton have 8 queued up along the edge of the box. The ball's whipped in. It's a poor one and easily dealt with by Southampton, but not clear yet. And the Hammers have a throw on about 6 or 7 yards from where the free kick was just taken. Still looking for that big chance. We're coming up to that hour mark now, Rio, that you mentioned as potentially when David Moyes is going to start looking at making a substitution. Who do you think's likely to come on first here? Do you think it's going to be maybe Vlasic as the potential game changer?
Everything kind of points there, doesn't it? I mean, we don't spend £30 million on a player.
Yeah. Unless
he's normally an absolute shoe-in as a starter. And he's got some absolute quality about him as well. This is something I was going to ask you post-game as well. I mean, who do you think long-term Vlasic would start in front of? Because who do you think's most suspect out of the three who's sitting behind Antonio? Because that's Vlasic's kind of position, isn't it, as an attacking midfielder?
Yeah.
I think today, Jared Bowen, and I think long-term possibly Jared Bowen could be one at risk.
Oh, that's interesting. See, I would have said, I would have, based on what we've seen from Moyes in the past, I would say Ben Rama. But given that he's probably been West Ham's best player so far this season, it's going to be very difficult to leave him out, isn't he? So, but it's interesting. Bowen I find interesting because I've seen quite a lot of people on the KUMB forum say that he hasn't started very well, and yet Gareth Southgate had him as a stand-in for the England national team. So he's kind of like Marmite, isn't he? In a sense, Bowen. Some people think he's a fantastic player. A lot of people not quite so sure.
I just think he's too inconsistent for me. I mean, when he's on form and firing, he's one of those players who's a joy to watch, and he can create things from out of nowhere. He's full of energy, full of running, full of desire. But the days on he's quiet, it does really kind of show. It does tell that he's probably not quite at the level we desire week in, week out.
Okay. I can tell you that Nikola Vlasic is warming up. He is taking instructions now from Kevin Nolan. And we are bang on, as I speak, 60 minutes on the clock, 2/3 of the way through the game. West Ham's Croatian international signed on the penultimate day of the transfer window is about to come on. So I'm guessing it's going to be Bowen or Ben Rama who's going to make way here. We shall see momentarily as it is Southampton have possession. Yet again, breaking down the left. The cross is going to come over here. It's a good chance for Armstrong. He briefly manages to escape Dawson, who looks around as if to say, where did he come from? But the striker just nods the ball over. It was a very difficult opportunity. He's only about 5'8", isn't he, Rio Armstrong?
Yeah, he's a very tiny player. And it's one of the reasons I thought why we probably weren't interested, because we seem to go for the kind of forwards who are kind of really bulky, muscular, with a bit of an aerial presence about them. And he's one of those diminutive strikers, in probably in the terms of Hernandez and Lionel Perez, who just don't fit in, just don't really suit us at the moment in the style of play that we operate in.
We've got a close-up of Ben Rama, so I don't know if that means that the TV company think that he might be the fall guy about to go off here. We're just waiting for the West Ham substitution to be. Armstrong is down on the floor. I'm not quite sure what his issue is. It seems to be clutching his ankle right now.
He just needs to move that out a bit. He needs to stretch, Armstrong. Stretch.
Like it. There is a substitution being made. I'm assuming this is Nikola Vlasic about to make his West Ham appearance. Or I actually say, no, it's not. I don't think. It's another Southampton change. Now, who's this coming on and who's this going? It's 22 and 11 are the numbers on the board. The number 11 is Nathan Redmond. No, that could be. No, I think that's the West Ham change actually, because Ben Rama, who's West Ham's number 22, is going off, and Vlasic is coming on. Nikola Vlasic is about to make his West Ham United debut. Little pat on the back from David Moyes. Vlasic gives Moyes a little smile, and Ben Rama, who has been absolutely fantastic West Ham this season, not quite at the races so far. So he wasn't really involved, Rio, was he, in that opening hour?
No, apart from that one cross, which from the Soufal kind of the throw-in, he's the one who put the ball in for Soucek, the header. Yeah. But he's been incredibly quiet today. When I'm not surprised at that change. I know I mentioned Bowen could be the fall guy today, but neither of them have really kind of imposed themselves on today's game.
No, I think it could have been either of them, couldn't it, really? Neither have sort of really, as you say, imposed themselves or look particularly strong. But and apologies. I think I said it was Fornals who provided that cross, but as you quite rightly say, it was Ben Rama for the Soucek chance. 63 minutes on the clock. West Ham with their first change of the day. It's Nikola Vlasic, the £30 million man, on for side Ben Rama, and just waiting to get his first touch of the ball. Vlasic, of course, wearing that number 11 shirt. A cross is coming from the right-hand side from Soufal. It's nodded out by the Saints. Declan Rice picks it up 35 yards from goal, and it's played back to Craig Dawson. West Ham now looking to stretch Southampton once again, and just keeping a little bit of possession here. But 27 minutes to go. We're sort of getting to the point where, you perhaps might be thinking that one goal might be enough for either team. But anyway, plenty of time to go yet. Plenty of changes to possibly be made. Mark Lamb, I see, Rio. Well, hang on, let's just stick with this because his Vlasic bursting forward finds Antonio out on the left. Antonio looks for options, can't find anyone. He's going to play it short to Declan Rice. Declan Rice moves forward 10 yards into space. Aaron Cresswell finds the ball on the left-hand side, 15 yards from goal. Plays it short to Vlasic. Now Vlasic is into the box. This is dangerous. Plays a short ball for Antonio. Antonio can't quite get the connection on it, and Southampton clear the ball. But that's the... I'll just make sure this comes to nothing because Southampton looking to break. But Angelo Wogbonna clears the danger. Good signs from Vlasic there, Rio. First touch and, looked dangerous. Burst into the box and looking lively already. Yeah,
his first 2 or 3 touches that he's contributed have been very promising. I'm a big fan of Croatian football and footballers, and I've got high hopes for Vlasic, and that is a really bright start to his West Ham career, offering a little bit of directness, a little bit of threat, exactly what we need.
Just over 25 minutes left to go of regulation time. It's still Southampton 0, West Ham United nil. We're waiting for somebody to break the deadlock. West Ham looking the more likely, but we've just seen Craig Dawson. I think that's the first time he's put a foot wrong in this game today, looking for a Jared Bowen, and a bit of a mix up there between them. But the game's been littered with that from both sides, hasn't it, Rio? Lots of little errors. I saw someone actually earlier in the stream say that they thought that the international break might have had something to do with this. The fact that everyone looks a little bit off. Obviously, Southampton have had a few players travel as well. What do you think of that? Do you think there's anything in that?
I definitely think that's a contribution. I mean, you're playing with your teammates week in, week out. At the start of the season, especially, you just get into a flow of things. 4 games in, and you lose them for 2 weeks or so. And it's got to disrupt things. I mean, they must have come back, was it Thursday for England at the earliest?
Yeah.
Friday. Now, that's very little time to get reintegrated and kind of rediscover the flow that you kind of been working on all through the summer and in the early games of the season. It's very disjointed. I think, as we pointed out, I think the lack of goals in the 6 games at 3 o'clock today really kind of sums that up. That it's a major hassle and interruption in the flow of football. In the old days, international football was probably the be all and end all. Now it's not, and club football suffering for it.
Yeah, we saw that ludicrous situation, didn't we, between Brazil and Argentina, that FIFA rolled over for and allowed the players to play. We're just going to. It's another poor ball. West Ham looking to break forward, and Jared Bowen playing a poor ball into Michail Antonio, and he looks a little bit disappointed by that. But West Ham have possession again anyway, looking to build something. It's Vlasic on the ball now, looks inside, plays it short to Craig Dawson, some way from goal. But Southampton defending doggedly here this afternoon. I'm really not giving West Ham any opportunities to burst into the box or make any inroads in that final third. Declan Rice is playing like something of a demon this afternoon, as has become typical of him. But even he's been unable to help West Ham make that breakthrough. Aaron Cresswell now with the ball, 20 yards from goal, plays it back to that man Rice. Rice inside to Dawson, who plays it to Soucek, sorry, he plays it to Dawson. Dawson out wide to Soufal. The ball played in first time. It's looking dangerous. Vlasic, and it's just not fell right. And Bowen's had a chance. He's on the volley. The ball's fallen kindly to him on the volley. And McCarthy has actually pulled off a really, really good save there, because that ball was travelling, Rio, and West Ham going close there.
Yeah, I'm just about to view it now, so I'm about 30 seconds behind you.
Okay. It's a great effort.
Very good save. Very good save. I think Bowen did incredibly well to get the shot anyway, remotely on target. It was falling behind him.
Yep.
You weren't in a natural position to kind of hit that, but he's done incredibly well. But what a good save that was. And promising signs from West Ham in the last 5-10 minutes here.
Yeah, it's coming. You get the feeling that something's coming. Vlasic again making a nuisance of himself. I mean, that was going in. There's no question about it. As we see on the replay from behind Bowen, the ball was definitely going to dip under the crossbar, but a decent, probably not a particularly difficult save for McCarthy. It was pretty much hit straight at him, but probably West Ham's best chance of the game so far, and they have been at a premium, as is the case, it should be said, elsewhere in the Premier League, because goals are not exactly flowing. It's Arsenal. Arsenal have scored a goal. Arsenal beating Norwich. 1-0 at the Emirates. No goals between Brentford and Brighton. Leicester have fallen behind against Manchester City. Manchester United now 2-1 up against Newcastle. It was 1-0 at half-time. No goals between Watford and Wolves. And, of course, goalless at St Mary's. Michail Antonio once again looks to... And it's all West Ham at the moment, isn't it, Rio? We said it, didn't we? You think... You get the feeling something's about to happen soon.
Yeah, we're asserting ourselves far more in this game now. It's just a matter of time for me. We're providing all the pressure. Southampton have offered nothing in the last 5 or 10 minutes. Since Vlasic's come on, we're incredibly more dangerous. We're moving the ball with a bit more purpose, look lively, and yeah, it's coming. It is coming.
I'm not quite sure why. Maybe that was an offside decision we've just seen there. Vlasic got behind the Southampton defence. I think he's given a all right, yeah. So Vlasic has kind of put an elbow up as he tries to control the ball, and it's gone into the face of an opponent, into Livramento's face, and the referee's given a free kick. No, nothing more than that. Completely accidental, but I guess it's a foul. So McCarthy restarts for the Saints. 70 minutes gone. We're into that final 20 now. Still only one change each from each team. It's Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. Is there going to be a winner team? What do you reckon? Watching us on the live chat, let us know who you think's going to score. Is it going to be the Hammers? Is it going to be the Saints? Is it going to stay 0-0 for West Ham's first goalless draw of the season? We shall find out very soon. Who's next, Rio, from the bench? Or do you think that's it for now for Moisey?
I do think Bowen will be the next one to go, but do make a change. He traditionally doesn't last more than 70, 75 minutes under Moyes, does he? He does tend to hook him quite regular basis. Who comes on for him, different matter. Yarmolenko's there, Lanzini's there. There's options. I'm not necessarily sure I would actually make that change, but you always feel that Jared always is possibly the one to get the hook at some point.
We've just seen a couple of yellow cards flashed by referee David Coote. A little bit of an altercation off the ball between Antonio. I'm not quite sure who it's with, but Antonio was clearly fouled, and frustrated Antonio. It's Jack Stevens who was the other party in that. Antonio ended up wrestling him to the floor, and David Coote decided he'd had enough and showed a yellow to both players there. So that's I think they are the second and third players in the book after Rowe, who was booked in the 13th minute. But West Ham have been given a free kick, so we clearly decided that Antonio was the injured party first. So Aaron Cresswell with the free kick. Southampton once again with their customary 9 players on the edge of the box. This time it's played short to Declan Rice in the centre of the field. Rice looks up, no options on, plays it back to Soufal. So kind of wasted a bit there. Soufal instead puts one long towards the edge of the box, but it's comfortably cleared by Southampton, and nothing really doing for the Hammers there. And I think Jared Bowen's just been called offside. Bit of a waste, that one, Rio. Bit of an opportunity to put the ball in the mix there.
Yeah, no, we've been lacking at set pieces this season.
Yeah, our
delivery's been pretty shocking, and sometimes the idea, the think tank behind it is just nonsensical. And that was one of them occasions, you know. Now, Southampton are under the cosh here. Test them, you know. Don't make it easy for them. And we made things far too easy there.
Looks like the home side are about to make another change. And we'll just keep an eye on that one for a minute. But we are, and I think Declan Rice is going to go in the book here, because that's a dreadfully late challenge. Yeah, no questions about that one. Declan Rice is about 3 days too late on, I think it's Livramento as he cut inside there. No question, just seeing a replay of that. Yeah, Rice diving in a little bit. In fact, he's probably a little bit fortunate. It wasn't anything worse than that. But Rice becomes the second Hammer to go into the maybe a sort of a bit of frustration from Deckers there, Rio.
Yeah, I just think the last couple of minutes, tempers have frayed a little bit.
Yeah,
I think also a little bit of frustration of the fact we kind of wasted that opportunity. It's all a little bit unnecessary. And like you said, Declan, not only is he he's lucky not to injure himself there, because he was stretching far too much, and it was unnecessary tackle in that area of the field.
Michael Antonio, meanwhile, is enjoying a little bit of a joke with referee David Coote just a minute or two after he's been booked. I'm sure Antonio was expressing his disgust at having been similarly penalised for that one. But anyway, they seem to be having a laugh about it. So I suppose that's the main thing. There has been a change. Armstrong has been replaced for Southampton. I can't quite make out who it is who's come on, Rio. If you saw who that was, please do let me know. But Southampton have definitely made a second change anyway. The striker who had that one effort that went just over the bar on the hour mark, replaced for the home side. And we're rapidly approaching the last 15 minutes now. Is there going to be a goal? Should we have a quick look at the stats? Possession, Southampton 39%, West Ham 61%. That's something you don't see too often. Southampton 7 shots so far to West Ham's 12. 2 on target for Southampton, 3 on target for West Ham. Southampton look to build on the left-hand side, as they have done so often today. And yeah, again, there's another really meaty challenge going in. West Ham winning a free kick. We did see a moment there where there was a bit of a late challenge. I think it might have been Soufal. Let's have a look. No, it's not Soufal. It's actually a comedy moment. If you look at the replays, Soucek has gone to make the challenge in the box, and I think it's Dnipro that he's gone to challenge and realised he's going to be too late and pulls out. And Dnipro sort of went to dive anyway. Then I guess realised that he was going to look completely stupid had he done so. Anyway, it's a free kick to West Ham. 15 minutes to go. Any idea on that sub, Rio?
I think it was Broja.
Okay.
To come on.
Thank you. So there you go. Southampton's second sub of the day. Armstrong going off. West Ham once again pouring forward. It's that man Declan Rice on the ball as the Hammers look to try and break through a very stubborn and resilient Southampton defence. Jared Bowen on the ball on the right-hand side. There's nothing on. He's got to go back to Declan Rice. Declan Rice looks to go into space. Yet again, he's closed down quickly. Neat little 1-2 with Jared Bowen. Now, can he get this ball in? He's played it short into the box to Bowen. Bowen's turned. Bowen flicks the ball up in the air, and it's headed behind for a corner for the Hammers. Good work from Jared Bowen. He seems to be, I mean, we were saying, weren't we, that he'd been pretty quiet, but I think out of all the West Ham players in the last 5 or 10 minutes, he seems to be the one that's really sort of come to life and seems sort of most likely to do something.
Yeah, no, he's been sparked by, I think, the introduction of Lasic has brought everyone to life a little bit, but particularly Bowen. Been very lively. That chance he had on the turn was good. He's asking a few questions of the defence lately. And he's just about, I'm about watching stream, I'm about 30 seconds behind you. I'm probably going to get this completely wrong, but I just hope that his delivery is better than anyone else's because it's been pretty woeful so far.
All I can tell you, the delivery was all right. But once again, McCarthy's gone up to pick it out the air, pretty much in the centre of the goal, off of Thomas Souček's head. I think it was Souček coming in to try and get on it. Steve Page makes a very good point, something that we've almost certainly missed. Steve saying that, referring to Antonio and that little bit of friction that he enjoyed a few moments ago. Steve saying that Antonio, at least I assume it's Antonio he's referring to, says that he felt his hamstring when he got up. So let's just keep an eye on that one for the next few minutes. It doesn't seem like there's any undue or lasting damage to Antonio the way he's moving at the moment. But here's that's another real good chance for West Ham. But Vlasic anyway plays the ball out to Bowen. Chance now for Bowen. Drives into the box. Can he get the ball across? No, he can't. He's shielded out. He's still got the ball. Plays it out to Soufal. Soufal hooks one into the box. It's a high looping cross. Not really anything for a striker to get on the end of. And Southampton managed to get the ball clear. There's glimpses once again, though, Rio, of West Ham. Well, hang on a sec, because Southampton are in here. Ogbonna's been beaten. The ball's laid across. West Ham are in trouble. And that's going to be a free kick to West Ham, surely. Okay, so the ball was laid in low from the right-hand side. Soufal was going to get there first. He was bundled over by the Southampton substitute, but the referee waved play on as Lucas Fabianski claimed the ball. So we are as we are. 77 minutes gone. Still, Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. Are we going to get a winning goal from someone? West Ham looking the more likely to, as we said, but just can't break through this very, very stubborn Southampton defence at the moment, who are getting back in numbers. I think they've got 11 men behind the ball pretty much whenever they're defending at the moment. Yeah,
they've been incredibly well disciplined in the defensive work.
Yeah,
they're getting everyone back at every opportunity. This is what we got to deal with, though. Now, teams now know that we we attack on the counter, we attack with pace, precision, and a real threat. So the natural thing to them to do is drop deep in numbers to making things incredibly hard for us. Yeah, but this is what we've got to live up to. This is what we've got to learn to deal with and counter. It's the beauty of being a top 6 side, isn't it? You know, we have to learn new ways of being creative.
Well, Declan Rice just tried a new way of being creative, sending a ball in from deep on that occasion from the right-hand side. But once again, McCarthy is first to it, claiming the ball from off the head of Michail Antonio, who was lurking with intent and trying to pick up on any scraps or anything else. But McCarthy's done a very good job, I think, for the Saints at the back. He's been first to everything, the goalkeeper this afternoon. Still no signs of a second change for the Hammers yet, Rio, and we are 11 minutes from full time now.
Yeah, no, it's hard to say you take off because despite the fact that we've not really sparked, we're not really clicked, who would you take off? I mean, at the moment, for me, it'd be Antonio. But who do you put on that top position? Someone with that kind of muscle power and that strength to hold players off. And someone who's been playing so well is the Premier League Player of the Month. But You know, we need to kind of mix up a little bit. We've got to try something a bit different because Southampton defended with discipline, as we've just mentioned. They're making things incredibly hard for us. We just need to find that different dimension to our game to break these down.
Yeah, just need that little bit of magic, don't we, from one of our more experienced forward players out there at the moment. It hasn't quite happened yet, but you sort of look at the most recent results here at St Mary's. 3 years ago, Southampton won, West Ham 2. 2 years ago, Southampton 0, West Ham 1. Last year, Southampton 0, West Ham 0 on the 29th of December after Christmas. They've all been really, really tight affairs, and clearly this one is going to be no different. Ball swung in from the right-hand side from West Ham by Soufal. It's cleared out, and now Southampton are through. And the substitute, Borgia, I think it is his 1-on-1 with. It's a good effort, and it's off the post. Oh, it's close. It's close. West Ham saved by the woodwork. Lucas Fabianski beaten. I think it's Brojo. We will just confirm that in a minute, but West Ham are breaking at the other end now. It's end-to-end stuff right now. Vlasic breaking, but just running into a red and white wall and unable to profit. But closest Southampton have come yet, Rio. And, you know, you always seem to get one, don't you, in a game where the woodwork comes into play. And there it is once again. Southampton, very, very unlucky.
Yeah, I think Craig Dawson was... Craig Dawson was at fault for that one. A bit of a wild swing, completely missed it.
Yeah.
And he was treading water trying to get back. So, I mean, he's had a really good game today, but that one error almost cost us again. And we really can't afford those kind of things.
The closest Southampton have come to scoring 10 minutes from the end of time. And that would have been a perfect goal for them, wouldn't it, right now? But fortunately, West Ham saved by the woodwork. Lucas Fabianski beaten, diving low to his right-hand side. The shot coming in from the edge of the penalty box. By the Southampton substitute. It was hit low, struck low to the right of Fabianski, who was unable to get there, and as we said, saved by the woodwork. And it seems to have given Southampton a bit of confidence, because the Buskin is a real good chance again. Oh, and it's hooked over the bar this time. Oh, the ball came in. The ball was played out to the right of the penalty area. It was a low delivery into the box, completely unmarked out there. And I'm just trying to see who it was who had the shot. It's Southampton's number 27, who was the substitute, Diallo, who came on for Rowe after 53 minutes and found himself in space on the edge of West Ham's 6-yard box and kind of leant back a little bit and in the end hooked the ball over the bar. But probably Southampton's two best chances of the game there, Rio, in the last 90 seconds.
Yeah, the cracks are beginning to appear. I don't know if it's because we're trying to chase it and we're committing too many men forward at times. But yeah, they're causing a lot of issues. And Ogbonna's been... I know Dawson made a mistake for the first chance, but Ogbonna was treading water a little bit himself there, trying to track back. And he almost got caught out again for the second chance in the box there. Yeah, things ain't looking good. We need to kind of reassert ourselves and kind of drive forward again. We don't want to fall into that usual trap of conceding late on because we've thrown everything at everything.
West Ham are continuing to pile forward. It looks like it's going to be a shot from Yarmolenko, because while we were just chatting there, Yarmolenko has come on for Jared Bowen in the 83rd minute, and within seconds of coming on, he's played in one of his favoured positions, actually, just to the right-hand side of the penalty box, from where he quite often we've seen him sweeping goals, curl them into the top corner. This time, probably the chance came to him just a little bit early. He's probably still a little bit cold, having just come onto the pitch, and it's high and wild, which really pretty much summed up West Ham's finishing today, Rio, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, chances, as we said, have been at a premium. And we've really not had that cutting edge today. And it's disappointing, isn't it? When we've had set pieces, we're not capitalised, we're not putting a decent delivery most of the game. And the few chances we've had from open play, we've really, really not been at the races. Again, you can point to the hangover of the Europe international break, the disjointedness of a brand new squad. But yeah, it's a very disjointed performance today in terms of our attacking fluidity, which is something that we've made our mark over the last 18 months or so.
Well, West Ham have another 6 minutes plus whatever is going to be added on at the end of the game to make their mark in this match. And as Rio said there, they haven't really looked like doing it so far. Not the best game. Michail Antonio, meanwhile, is clutching his hip and grimacing with pain. I should just go back to what we were talking about a few moments ago when Steve Page mentioned that one of our players had felt his hamstring when we got up. And I guess just naturally we assumed he was referring to Michail Antonio. Steve saying, actually, no, I was referring to Declan Rice. So there you go. But as I said, Antonio just then feeding his hip instead. Just over 5 minutes to go. Can West Ham get a winner? Two substitutions on the new boy, Vlasic coming off for Ben Rama after 62 minutes and Yarmolenko replacing Boeing after 83. Southampton have made two changes themselves. Diallo coming on for Rowe just 8 minutes after the restart. Ralph Houston, who will clearly seeing something he didn't like, and then making a second change with Armstrong being replaced by Borgia after 74 minutes. West Ham pouring forward. Now it's Fornals breaking into the final third and looks to play the ball out wide to Aaron Cresswell, and it's straight to a Southampton defender. It really just sums up West Ham's game this afternoon. Southampton will probably quite fancy nicking something themselves now, having gone very close in the last few minutes. Vlasic has come back to make a challenge. He's been beaten. The ball's floated in from the left-hand side. Oh, it's so close. And it's El Yunusi who's had the shot on the half volley. The ball was played down the left-hand side. Vlasic went to make the tackle, kind of dived in a little bit unnecessarily and gave Southampton's number 21, Livramento, the opportunity to put a cross in. That he did, played it back towards the penalty spot. And in fact, it's Soufal who's come in and made a really, really good challenge to prevent El Yunusi getting a shot away. And I think it's a corner for Southampton. So credit due to Soufal there. But West Ham living dangerously, Rio, and Southampton have got another corner here.
Yeah, well, what I've just seen, it was stemmed from Antonio. He's not moving at all well. He's clutching his hip. A little bit of a wasted kind of mishit pass to a West Ham player. Yep. They've hit us on a break again. And that was a very dangerous move. And they're really in the ascendancy now, and they're causing a lot of problems. And you've got to worry for us. We've got 3 or 4 minutes to hold out. And we've got to pray that we maintain the discipline that we've had largely throughout most of the game. But they're fancying this a lot, absolutely fancying this, and we're struggling. You can see why the way West Ham are playing. West Ham have just retrieved the ball, Lucas Fabianski, and it's just pretty much sent an aimless punt upfield, the kind of thing you do when you're trailing by a goal to nil in the 5th minute of added on time in the cup final. It's just boot the ball forward and see if something comes of it. And Southampton have picked the ball up, and West Ham really at 6s and 7s. At the moment, as another cross comes into West Ham's box, it's headed clear by Dawson, and he's got his hands up in the air asking for treatment because Ogbonna has taken one to the head there, and he's fallen very, very nastily. And this looks nasty. Referee David Coote has stopped play, as of course they have to do these days when there's a head injury. And Ogbonna is down on the floor. He's clutching his forehead. Clearly a genuine injury because he's not moving around. And it looked like an elbow straight to the head. They went. I just seen on the way on our feed. Ball's coming into the centre. I'm sure the Southampton attacker has led with the elbow.
It's Brozier who is guilty of putting on the deck. I must confess, I didn't see the replay again, but let's wait.
Now, what it is, he's got it completely wrong. He's just got a dodgy barnet, but he's actually headed Ogbonna rather than the ball. And that looked nasty. And Antonio's not one to milk things like this.
Ogbonna,
so it's worried about this.
We're just while Ogbonna's receiving treatment there, we're just seeing a replay of the Southampton chance that cannon back off the foot of the post. Brozier, the substitute, only been on the pitch for 8.5 minutes. He's made a right nuisance of himself already. Hit the post and hit Ogbonna as well.
Yeah.
Not sure what was the better strike.
Dawson jumped in, completely missed it, and Fabianski was beating all ends up there, just a couple of inches either side, and we was done for.
Yeah, it's kind of strikes me now. It'd be interesting to see how David Moyes reacts, because it looks like West Ham feel that they should be winning this game and are going hell for leather now, and it's kind of all fallen apart in the last 5 minutes, isn't it? It's no cohesiveness to the play. West Ham all over the place. And now, what's referee Coote going to give here? He's telling Declan Rice that is it going to be a drop ball? Nathan Redmond saying that we should have the ball because it was our attack and we were only 20 yards from your goal. David Coote is marching slowly out to the touchline. I think he's going to give a drop ball by the looks of this. Pablo Fornals looks perplexed as the rest of us here are. What's it going to be? Is he going to make? Hang on, he's I don't know what he's drawn the white spray. So, and he's drawn I've never seen that before. He's drawn two. So normally when the referee marks out 10 yards from the ball, he puts the spray down, right? Well, he's done one. He's marched another 10 yards away and put another line down. So is he giving a free kick to Southampton here? I'm not quite sure what he's doing. Well, Nathan Redmond is the only player around the referee, around David Coote. Coote's got the ball in his hands. I think he's going to drop it and allow Southampton to regain possession. Oh, this is bizarre. This is ludicrous. So he's dropped the ball. Nathan Redmond stood still and not done anything. And Michail Antonio, kind of reminiscent of that guy from Zaire in the 1974 World Cup finals against Brazil, was just run up to the ball and kicked it away. He's made them take it again. And Southampton this time have played the ball back to the halfway line and recommenced. So kind of a bizarre bit of play, that one. I think I'm not quite sure what part of the rules and laws of the game that was pertaining to. But anyway, Southampton breaking down the left. An attempted cross is deflected out by Yarmolenko for another Saints corner. We are now in the first of 5 added on minutes, Rio. 5 minutes to go. I think we'll probably be. Well, now you've got to be content with the point, haven't you? Really, I know we haven't played particularly well, but this is, we've sort of been a bit shambolic, haven't we, the last few minutes here?
Yeah, last 10, 15 minutes, we kind of lost all train of thought, all discipline. So yeah, a point now, I'd take your hand off. 5 minutes is 3.5 minutes far too long for me. I'm dreading this.
Oh, I think that's a goal. I think Southampton have scored. The corner's been taken. It's a header that's come in. West Ham have cleared it off the line, but I think it might have been over the line. But the referee is unmoved, and so that must suggest that there's no indication in his pocket to say it crossed the line. I thought it was in. I can't wait to see the replay. But West Ham are countering now, and here's a real chance. And Vlasic has been sent to the deck. I think it is, and surely that's a yellow card. Oh, it's all happening here in the final few minutes. Southampton, I thought they'd scored. Got to say, I thought that the header from the corner had crossed the line. I'm waiting to see who it's cleared by. Perhaps
Rice cleared it.
Was it Rice? Rice cleared it from under the crossbar, and then West Ham broke quickly. It's Souček played the ball to Vlasic, who was round his man. He was going to beat his man, and he would have been away, but pulled down. Just seeing a replay now of that, and. Oh, okay. No, it's not over the line at all. It's brilliant from Rice there, Rio.
Absolutely. What more can you say about the man? Imperious club and country, and he's just saved us 3 valuable points there. Or so at least a point, potentially 3. But no, that was just absolutely magnificent defending.
Not quite as magnificent was the resulting free kick, which was played short by Cresswell to Rice. Decided to try his luck from, what are we looking, 27 yards, and it was straight into the path of an out-rushing defender. Bit of a wasted opportunity that for West Ham. It was a really good chance. I think it's a free kick for Southampton. Soufal barging into the side of his player, but I guess that really sums up West Ham's day, that, Rio, doesn't it? That free kick. I'm assuming you're just coming round to seeing it now.
Yeah, just seeing it.
Real chance, wasted.
Yeah. I think Deck's got his head turned by that long-range screamer for England in a week, and he thinks he can take everything from 30-odd yards now. You clearly can't, mate. Just get the ball in the box, ask a few questions. I mean, we haven't delivered anything really decent all day. One has surely got to stick and make something interesting happen, put them under pressure. Don't waste things like that. It's just ridiculous. We've
just seen the goal line steal of that shot that Rice cleared out, and very close, very close. We'll come back to it in a minute because Declan Rice has just tried to play the ball over the top to Michail Antonio. Antonio's on the end of it. He's inside the box, but he's going to, yet again, he's going to lose out. And this is trouble. I think he could go. I think Antonio is about to walk here. A second yellow card. It is. It's going to be a red card for Michail Antonio. And that is desperate for West Ham. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. We are in the final minute of 5 added on. Michail Antonio, frustrated, hasn't been given a thing all afternoon by the Southampton defence. He's lost the ball in an attempt to win it back. He's just lunged out completely unnecessarily at his man. And he's got to go for that, Rio. It's a cast iron yellow card, and it's the second one. Questions will be asked whether he deserved the first one, of course, not now. But he's gone straight through Dnipro, and West Ham are down to 10 minutes. Shouldn't matter now because there's only 10 seconds to go. But the ramifications, of course, will be, we'll be looking ahead to next week now.
We've all been saying for the last few weeks, it's a match.
Sorry.
That's what I thought you before we'd let one in then.
No,
Don't do that to me.
Frustration.
No, we've been saying it for the last few weeks. It's only a matter of time before his hamstrings go. His head's gone. He's just dived in there. Absolute brainless thing. And we're going to lose him for, 3 games? We've got no natural centre-forward replacement. We're in trouble. We're going to struggle a little bit here. We've got to look for the likes of Bowen, Yarmolenko to step into that line-leading role. It also the dynamic of our play. It's a massive blow, absolutely massive blow. And we've got some big games coming up as well. The
full-time whistle has just blown at St Mary's. It has finished. Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. It's a point for West Ham on their travels. The Hammers never really got going today. To be fair, neither did the home side. However, Southampton hit the post and had a couple of really, really good opportunities right at the end of the game. But of course, the big talking point, the main issue to emerge from this afternoon's game happened in the 5th minute of added on time, the 95th minute of the game. And it was a second yellow card for Michail Antonio, which means West Ham are going to be without their one and only striker for the next couple of games. Rio, sum up, kind of burst into life a little bit there, didn't it, in the last 5-10 minutes? Not really the way we wanted it to, but sum up what you've seen for us there.
The last 5 minutes or the whole game?
Well, I'm not sure there was much to talk about before that, was there really?
No, it's a very disappointing performance. We went into this game with a lot of confidence, a lot of anticipation that we could take our form from before the international break into this. We've been playing a lot of free-flowing football, attacking with really a lot of verve, a lot of intent, a lot of kind of creativity, and we've been scoring goals galore. But today, everything was really disjointed. We lacked a lot of quality in a lot of areas. We didn't get our set pieces right in one little bit. We didn't create any really clear-cut chances. There's 2 or 3 snap efforts, but it's a very disappointing performance. I mean, you can't come away from an away game disappointed with a point, really, for me. I know we expect to win things now a lot more than we used to, but the old West Ham creeps back into life every now and then and gives that little slap around the face and say, wake up, we're still West Ham. The plus points I would take, a clean sheet, albeit rather fortuitously, because when they hit the post, we were done and dusted. Dawson got absolutely mugged off. Ogbonna was struggling. Fabianski was nowhere.
Yep.
He's lucky it wasn't 2 inches to the right. We'd have been gone. Declan Rice saved us in extra time with clearing that ball off the line. But yeah, it's a painfully disappointing performance. A team that's been on the up, on the offensive, and we really didn't get going today in an attacking form. And it's disappointing. There's a few players out there who look incredibly tired, incredibly leggy, and towards the end we lost our shape, we lost our mentality, and we're lucky to get away with that in the end.
Yeah, I think I make you absolutely right. We will be joined very shortly, hopefully, by Noam live from St Mary's. In fact, there he is. He's just popped up as we speak, almost as if by magic. So we'll just get Noam on the stream now and just see what his view of what we've seen there. But of course, the big talking point today, Michail Antonio. We worried about his hamstrings. We thought they might be the problem today. Oh no, the problem was that he got booked twice and was sent off with barely 60 seconds of the game remaining, and he of course will now face a suspension, which is going to be absolutely terrible for West Ham with some big games coming up. Of course, he'll be okay to play in midweek when we travel to Zagreb. But you know, he's going to be missing for the Premier League. Let's find out what our man at the ground thinks about it. Noam, are you with us? Can you hear us? Not quite. Can you hear us, Noam? Are you with us?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, good stuff. We were just saying, yeah, we can hear you, buddy. We've got you. The big talking point of that, pretty much happened in the last 60 seconds of the game. Michail Antonio, we were just saying we feared his hamstrings going, which might put him on the sidelines. I don't think anyone thought that he might get sent off. What did you make of that?
He was getting sort of, there were lots of niggly fouls him all the way through the game. He retaliated once on one, hadn't he?
Yeah.
And the second he slid in like that, he was going to go. The Southampton manager, I don't know if you saw it at all, but he was doing his absolute nut on the side, like it was some sort of decapitation. But as soon as the second yellow came out and the card came out, the bloke got up.
Yeah.
Funny that, but it was a foul, and it was.
Well, it was a foul, wasn't it? There's no question under the current laws that was a second bookable offence.
Well, a sort of sanction on some of the treatment he was getting through the game. I mean, every time they had the ball with his back to it, there was studs down the back of his neck, you know, that sort of thing happening.
Yeah.
And,
but overall, what did you make of West Ham's performance today?
Sorry. Yeah. I'm not careful. I'm going to get someone. I just knew. Are we going to fight? Not buses now, are we?
Yeah. Are you with us now? You've got
end up with a coach going past. Yeah,
okay.
Got you. I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah. Overall impressions of what you saw.
We found them difficult to break down because they were getting a lot of people behind the ball. So it was going a lot side to side, was happening a lot. And weren't as incisive as we have been.
Okay.
And a couple of times, I'd like to see the ball played a bit earlier. Delayed that centre beyond, but towards the end, they could easily have nicked it.
Yeah, I mean, I think out of either of the two teams, if anyone was going to win that game, it looked like Southampton, didn't it?
Yeah, towards the end anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's a one. But, you know, they get play on the referee's gullibility a fair bit, actually, big. Trying players went down and fell for it.
Yeah. What went wrong for West Ham today, Noam? I mean, we were sitting here and Rio and I were pretty much repeating throughout the second half that, you know, we thought a goal was on its way for West Ham. We seemed a better team. We were getting closer and closer. And then, you know, that last, it was almost as if when Southampton hit the post 10 minutes from the end, that signalled a complete sea change in the way that the game was going. From that moment on, we were all over the shop, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a lot about them, really, because up until those last couple, there has been an awful lot of ambition going forward. A number of things were attacking. You can feel frustration getting right. There were, two or three quick balls might have had trouble.
We're having a bit of trouble hearing you, Noam, at the moment. You're sort of coming through very bitter right now. We're getting bits of you at the moment. It's all a bit Norman Collier right now.
Okay, well I've moved a little bit closer to the microphone.
Okay, that's better. Yeah, we got that.
Yeah. I think one of the changes though was that the guy they brought on the number 18 had a bit of pace about it.
Yeah.
And we sort of seem to be trying to play him in quite a lot as well. It was a run to Smith and Dawson, which had a parts in mouth. I think it might have been him at the post, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. I think that was Brozier, wasn't it, the substitute? Who, to be fair, I mean, I don't know. On reflection, I don't know why Rio. I don't know why he didn't start. Really, sort of looking at the impacts he had in that last 10 minutes.
Yeah, he looked incredibly live when he come on.
Yeah.
But maybe that's why I leave him on the bench, to exploit tired defences, create a little bit of panic. He spent a lot of money on Armstrong in the summer, a lot of money for
Yeah.
Southampton anyway. I didn't see nothing from him today that really justified either the price tag or our interest. It didn't impress me one little bit. Rosa come on. Maybe he's got a point to prove, or maybe it's a bit reverse Craig Dawson.
Yeah.
He's come on with a point to prove, and he caused us a lot of problems in the last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, he certainly did hit the post and just looked quite menacing throughout. No, we spoke in the first half and at half time about David Moyes' decision to leave Craig Dawson in the starting 11. I think, not like I wish to speak to Rio, but I think it's fair to say that we both felt that Dawson was pretty impeccable for the first 80 minutes or so, until that sort of mix-up that nearly let Southampton in to score the opening goal. What did you on reflection, would you say that was the right decision by Moyes?
That aimed at me.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
I think on this occasion it was purely because it's only been a couple of days.
Yeah.
I mean, particularly what happens in different countries. So I mean, I think though in that one moment, I think we saw why Zoom was in. Also defensively was up to that point, this was sound, but his distribution, I mean, you don't side Craig Dawson for his distribution anyway, let's be honest, but it did leave a little bit to be desired today.
Okay.
Sort of a few hopeful stuff in the channels.
Yeah, I think it was a bit like that across the team, wasn't it, really? But what's the? I mean, you're at the ground there. You're at St Mary's, leaving the ground with the rest of the travelling contingent. What's the atmosphere like in there? What's the general mood? What's the view of our fans having watched us, pretty much hang on for a point there today?
It's kind of philosophical, I think, phrase that was. I had Bill sat behind me, Bill Gardner, and his comment was, well, could have won, could have lost, we drew. It is what it is. I think then. So I think that really sort of summed it up for me. I mean, thankfully the sending off came too late to make any meaningful difference. But that bit, I mean, I say sending off very least, but I'd still like to know how Chapman put Bowen into the stand.
Yeah. I mean that was a nailed-on booking, wasn't it? Didn't obviously make a difference at the end of the game, but it was a strange one. It looked like it was a booking. But so it's fair to say that most of the away fans are reasonably happy with the point. Then
I think when you sit back and reflect on it, you probably will be. I think there might have been a little bit of, we didn't play very well in that one. But at the end of the day, if you're not playing that well, you still get the point. Still unbeaten. Could be worse. Could have lost 3-0 Palace.
Yeah. Well, this is true. Of course, this is true. It could have been much worse. While as you mentioned that, we'll have a very quick look at the rest of the results today. Of course, early game today at Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace running out 3-0 winners against Tottenham. Elsewhere in the Premier League this afternoon, a team called Arsenal have won a game. That'll be a novelty for the people in North London. The other lot in North London beating Norwich 1-0. Brentford going down 1-0 at home to Brighton. Leicester losing by the same score at home to Man City. Man United, their nearest rivals, beating Newcastle 4-1. No surprise there. Watford going down at home to Wolves by 2-0. How does that affect the table? Well, it means that Tottenham remain top of the pile despite getting thrashed, humiliated, humbled by Crystal Palace in South London.
Did Man United go above them?
No, West Ham are still second. We remain second in the table. Same goal difference as Man United, also with 8 points from 4 games, but we've obviously scored more goals, so we stay second. Rio, I suppose, really in retrospect and looking back at today's game and the way it ended, finished the game with 10 men, Southampton at the post. We're still in second at the end of the day. Could have been a lot worse, couldn't it? Really.
Absolutely. We was lucky to hang on. Those last 10 minutes were absolutely shocking. The way we lost our heads, lost our shape, lost our discipline. But, you know, we've walked away with a point. Wasn't the most, how can you put it? The most impressive of games from us. You know, we looked incredibly leggy. We looked like a side that, short on numbers, which we are, has lost a lot of players in international football because they're good, which they are, but we're suffering from the effects of that. The new face we've brought in, haven't had the time to integrate with the squad, and it showed, you know. I think the best thing to take out of Vlasic when he did come on, looked really bright. But our key areas, we had players who looked incredibly leggy. Suchek was largely anonymous throughout the game. Probably his poorest game for us, I think. Southampton did all right, but he kind of tailed off. Ben Rama, some of our leading lights of this season didn't perform at all. Now, Ben Rama had a poor game. Fornals looked tired. When half your midfield, or 3/4 of your midfield is looking incredibly leggy and tired, you're going to struggle.
No, Rio touched on Vlasic there. You know, we didn't get to see an awful lot of him. Only came on the pitch for the last. When did he come on? I'm trying to look at my notes. It certainly wasn't long, was it? I've lost it now completely. I can't see what it was. Last 20 minutes or so, yeah. But you know, from what little we saw of him, we saw a couple of bursts into the box, didn't we? A couple of breaks. Was you enthused by what you saw?
Yeah, I mean, he looked busy and he looked. He knew what he was doing, sort of thing. He didn't look, you know, there was a player. We weren't have to sit and wait for 6 months to settle into the Premier League, sort of thing. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was about. So we said at the time, you know, he'd done more in that 10 minutes or so than Ben Rama has done all in the second half. So
yeah, he was quiet today, wasn't he, Ben Rama? Really not.
Yeah. I mean, he was one that was sort of lacking in ideas. But then, you know, what they were doing was they were getting pretty much 10 outfield players behind the ball. And it was like, come and break us down. And whereas where that's been happening in the past this season, you know, we've had that incisive ball. We've known when to play the early ball, or we've known when to be patient. This time we were short of ideas. We didn't get it right. There were no, we were being patient when we needed the earlier ball. We were delivering an early ball when we needed to be patient. And so it was, it's philosophical.
Yeah, well, yeah, I like that. I like that. I've got just to come in there, Noam. It appears that I was looking at the league table before the scores were added. I've just hit refresh on the table to make sure I've got the most up to date table, because a couple of people, thankfully, are chiming in on YouTube to tell me that what I was reading out wasn't quite correct. You were actually right. Man United are now top of the table, 10 points from 4 games. Man City second. Brighton the third. 9 from 4. We're down in 5th. We're outside the Champions League places, for God's sake. We've sunk to the desperate depths of 5th place, Rio. But you know, could be worse. Could it? As I say, I mean, it's still unbeaten though, Rio. You know, 2 wins, 2 draws. It's a decent start, right? We've got to be happy with that, haven't we? Overall.
Absolutely. I mean, let's turn the clock back, say even 12 months. 5 games into the season, unbeaten. No, we've got a squad of incredibly talented players.
Yeah.
Today apart, we've played pretty well for most of this season already. You know, we played well at the end of last season. Mm-hmm. We're there on merit. We're there because we deserve to be, not because it's the start of the season and things haven't ironed themselves out yet. No, we've got an incredibly talented set of players, a very good manager who gets the best out of them. Today, with a very tired team, with like half of them not really performing, not up to the standard we expect from them, we've walked away from the away game, which against a side who haven't had the best start to their season, but have caused problems to a lot of teams in the past.
Yeah.
And we've come away with a point. You can't argue with that. You really can't. It's disappointing, but with half your team misfiring, I'll take it.
No, would you agree with Rio on that one? You know, not the best performance today, but here we are, 4 games in, 2 wins, 2 draws, still unbeaten.
Yeah, so that was our 4th game unchanged as well, wasn't it, really? I think we play that game next week with a full squad, full integrated squad. Then we might get a different story, but I think it's kind of a game too far for that starting 11 as it stands. Yeah, I mean, you know, sorry, it's a major crossroads here, and
sounds like a traffic nightmare down there.
Yeah. The blind guy crossing Middlebrook, seriously. I think
it's all going off. It's all kicking off at Southampton.
Hoping that, he's got a bloke with him. I think his mate was hoping that nothing was going to come rather than. Anyway, having got across. Yeah, I mean, we've got the new guys to come in, and you know, we've got, as we've been saying, like since season of last season.
Yeah.
We need a bit more in depth, but we now hopefully got that. We're going to be tested because we're going to Croatia on Thursday, whatever it is. So,
well, I mean, that brings me neatly on to my next question, actually. I'll just stick with you, Noam, for a minute on this one. Do you expect to see several changes for Thursday night? You know, obviously Zuma hasn't played tonight. Kral hasn't come in. Areola potentially going to come in and make his debut. What do you think Moyes is going to do?
I'd certainly expect to see some, if not all, of the new boys.
Yeah.
Already there. Partly because it's, you know, they'll have had an extra bit of time to bed in. But partly, Europe's one of the reasons they've been signed. I mean, these guys are not sort of European virgins, if you like. So, you know, they'll be ideal for Zagreb away. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going, by the way? Did you get a ticket for it?
No, what, Zagreb? No, I've got work commitments, so
okay.
I fear I'm watching it with you.
We got you back at last. Rio, let's put that question to you. I mean, you know, Noam says that he's expecting Moisey to make several changes for Thursday night. Is that how you see it going yourself?
I expect at least 3, possibly more.
Yeah.
I expect Areola to step in. I think he'll be used initially as a cup keeper before he makes so much of an impression, becomes our regular first choice, whatever.
Yeah.
I expect Zuma to step in for Dawson. And judging by the way our midfield performed today, as I said, it looked incredibly tired, lethargic, and really not in the races compared to the way they've played all season. I expect at least 2 or 3 changes there. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Thomas Souček drop to the bench.
Okay.
Give him a well-earned rest because he's had a very long summer playing international football, where some have afforded a little bit of a break, as in Declan missed 1 game for England. Thomas hasn't. He's a nailed-on starter for every single Czech Republic game, and he's been anonymous pretty much most of this season. He's not been his usual effusive self, not been a threat in opposing penalties, the opposing penalty area, and he looks tired. Looks very tired, and he needs a little bit of a break.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you on that one. Let's just stick briefly with Zagreb, gents, as we're on that topic. What do you make of that game? We'll come back to the Southampton game in just a minute, but just while we're talking about the Europa League, Rio, how do you see that one going on Thursday? Going to be a tough one, isn't it? Toughest
I expect it to be the toughest of all our group games. We've got get the hardest one out of the way first. David Moyes' record as a manager in Europe isn't particularly impressive.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see how he approaches this one. If we can afford to play in a manner that we normally do, on the counter, taking the game to the opposition and hitting them on a break,
Yeah.
I'll be a little more confident. But it depends on the way Zagreb approach it as well.
Sure.
I haven't seen a lot of them this season, to be honest. But it's going to be interesting, to say the least. I think if we come away with a draw there, I'll be more than happy. I think it's be our toughest game in the group stages. Let's just see how we deal with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I got to say, I like the way you slipped in the I haven't seen too much of Zagreb so far this season line. I think we're probably all with you on that one.
I do, because I've got a bit of, going back to the 1996 Euros,
yeah.
I kind of started watching, keeping a track of a lot of Croatian football. Yeah, I'll try to keep up to date with it. But the last year or so, obviously the COVID thing set in, and I haven't really done it, but I used to.
Oh, fair play. You're one up on me anyway, buddy. Noam, how do you see it going Thursday? I mean, it's as Rio rightly said, I think it's it's going to be our toughest game of the group. What do you see? Do you think we can get a result over there?
It's group football, isn't it? So it's always a bit cagey when you're playing in groups rather than pure knockout. I think we'll probably go for a point, that'll inform the lineup as well, won't it? It's going to be an interesting atmosphere there.
Yes.
What do we get?
Yeah, it's going to be
1,200 tickets. Slightly over 1,200 tickets. Possibly somewhere near 3 to 4 times that going, by all rumours. So just hope everyone's safe and all that. So we're basically walking past a lot of gnome history, by the way.
Gnome history.
When I lived down this way.
I see.
At the background.
Lovely.
That's the guild hall.
Nice.
We've seen various gigs there, such as Mike Oldfield and Alexi Sale. How about that for a combination?
Well, it would have made a good double act, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But sorry, as I say, it's a bit of memory lane to say when I used to live down this way.
Well, let's come back to today's game. I just want to ask you, actually, I'm sort of thinking about the way it panned out. Do you think that there's a possibility that David Moyes was perhaps not expecting Southampton to play the way they did? I mean, it wasn't exactly what you would call expansive football, was it? I mean, you mentioned that they pretty much stuck 11 men behind the ball for the first 70 minutes whenever we were in possession. Do you think Moyes was perhaps expecting them to, come at us a little bit more than they did?
No, not really. I mean, as regards to team selection, you mean?
No, I mean, I just really mean the way they played. The way Hassan Hootel had them, playing essentially like an away team, but at home. In essence, the way that we used to play away from home quite frequently last season, and to good effect.
I think if he'd given it that much, if that had been the situation where it had been, we're expecting them behind the ball. I think. No, I don't think he was surprised by that at all.
Right.
He'll have had him watched, and that team that we had out, which has been up to today, our first 11, if you like, has been good enough early on this season to take things apart. Just today, I think there's one game too many for one or two players, and we lack that cutting edge, that innovation, if you like.
Just didn't happen for the Hammers
today. A little bit. We started to do that a little bit against Palace, where things that sort of came up against Palace, definitely against Leicester and issues weren't really happening for us today.
No, it didn't, did it? It was a second game in a row, really. We've sort of suffered a little bit like that, but I mean, let's turn our attention. I'll take this one back to Rio, but we've talked about Southampton's chances, Rio. The one we haven't really talked about yet is the header, where I was briefly concerned that it'd gone over the line, and in the end it was dead close, wasn't it? It was, we're talking inches. Declan Rice decent game today, but what a clearance! Saved West Ham a point there, didn't he, at the end?
Absolutely saved our bacon, and that's the beauty of keeping a man on the line, isn't it? He rescued us massively. Amount of times that we've kind of succumbed to late goals. How many points did we lose over the last couple of years from winning positions? It was horrendous the amount of points we threw away.
Yes,
but at a stage where we were losing our heads in a defensive manner, it's glad to see that our most impressive and imperious player had a little bit of new about him to be in the right place at the right time and rescue us. It much needed. Otherwise, we'd have walked away today losing 1-0. Possibly the whole kind of mindset of the fans might have changed as well. Because we're getting the games now with a lot of confidence, everyone's upbeat, everyone's up for the game. It's been noticed in the last 2 home games, especially, that you're not walking into an arena which is almost cursed from the word go. Everyone's walking in there in a really good mood, positive about the way we're going to approach the game. There's a lot more atmosphere, a lot more togetherness. But a couple of bad results, I hate to say it, but football fans are a little bit fickle, aren't they? And as soon as things turn against you, it affects a lot of things. And a couple of bad results could have put us under the cosh and changed the mindset of the home support as well. And that's what you don't want, because there's not a knee-jerk reactionism in football. And the last thing you want to do is lose the goodwill, the good atmosphere we've got at home at the moment, when there's actually a lot of people getting behind the team. When we conceded against Palace the other week, right? Look, in the past, you could feel the tension filling that stadium. You could feel everything was going to go against you. Yeah. And that feel was down to the players. They may say it doesn't, but you can tell a mile off. Last week, it didn't. As soon as we won the goal, we conceded that goal. The mindset of the players wasn't, oh, God, here we go again. Yeah. It was, let's turn our face, let's go at it. Mm-hmm. That's what we need. And we don't want, a late winner for Southampton today could have potentially affected that kind of mentality. And it is good to see that can save our bacon and potentially has altered the course of our season a little bit.
Well, he certainly did, and it certainly could. And it's interesting that the point you make there, I think, about fickle football fans and, the difference between success and failure. No, I'll come to you on this one. But if we'd lost those first 2 games, I guess having drawn with Palace and Southampton, in successive weekends, we'd probably be quite scathing of the team, wouldn't we? Of perhaps those 2 early wins given the team a bit of leeway that they might not have otherwise expected?
I'm guessing that we've developed a sense of perspective now. If we'd lost our first 2 and got those 2, we'd still be sitting there saying, well, we haven't lost in 3 or lost in 2, but we're still struggling to put the ball away. But sorry, I'm just arriving at the station here. I think they've heard that. Say sort of if they sort of ticket barrier won't work.
All right. Well.
Right. I'm sorry. Yeah. No, they've got a stage where, performances earlier on. Okay, defensively at Newcastle, forward with fantastic. Leicester, demolition job. So, you play that well, then you're going to get a little bit of credit for that. Yeah. If we're still here in 4 games' time and we haven't had another win to it, then I think the cartoon thing where you've got somebody's face it's a wavy line, that'll be happening a bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously we can't take those games in isolation. It's 2 wins, 2 draws, an unbeaten start to the season for West Ham. Probably wobbled a bit more today than we have in any of the games before that. But, I think you both made the point. Rio especially made the point, I think, very well in that and someone, I think it was Thomas, if I remember rightly, Thomas Eldridge, I think it was you who mentioned that the fact that we had so many players on international duty definitely seemed to affect the team. And I think you're both right. I think there's definitely something in that. The fact that so many players didn't look, Souček didn't look up to it. Said Benrahma, though he barely played in those internationals, still did a lot of travelling and just wasn't at the races today. And he's been absolutely immense so far this season. I think that definitely affected us a little bit. But I guess the question there, Rio, is if the internationals have affected the team, what's the Europa League going to do to us? Are we going to be another one of these teams that's going to be affected by playing on a Thursday and then having to play in the Premier League again 72 hours later?
I think that's without a doubt. We also have to factor in the fact that our squad, despite the augmentation in the last week of the window, is still wafer thin.
Mm-hmm.
Just look at our realistic possibilities to replace Mikel Antonio.
Yeah.
There is no standout candidate to do that. So we're going to come on from European trips, absolutely shattered, and with no one really to kind of step into the breach and take up the mantle, because these players have got to do it week in, week out. It's something I point out in the summer as well, that the likes of Declan Rice, Souček, Soufal, it was all well and good seeing them perform to the highest level in Euros and doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
But let's see how they look in February, March, because they're not going to get a break, because we need them to play week in, week out. Their countries need them to play week in, week out. And the only ones who are going to suffer is West Ham.
We're certainly going to suffer in our next home game. Let's just forget the Zagreb game briefly, because our next Premier League game is, of course, against Manchester United. It's going to be a tough one, a resurgent Manchester United at the London Olympic Stadium next week. And, of course, we're going to be missing Mikel Antonio. But, no, it's not great news, is it? But I suppose at least it is only one game, is it, I believe, for two yellow cards. It's only a one-match ban.
Yeah, the only thing we were thinking was if somebody has another look at it and tries to upgrade that to a straight red. Now, I've only seen it once, and whether or not it would, I don't know. You've probably got a better angle on that. That straight red would probably go to 3, but second yellow would just be the one. I know it's nuts. I think he's trying to get it upgraded to straight red for whatever reason. But,
yeah,
I think the referee came and might even have booked him. I know he went over and had a word. But,
okay. I don't know what Rio's view of it. Sorry, no, I was just going to say I don't know what Rio's view of it is, but I mean, I felt it was clearly a yellow card. I think to upgrade it to a red would be particularly harsh. Rio, would you agree with that, or did you think it deserved more?
No, I think it'd be harsh.
Okay.
The first one was bringing out frustration. It was clearly getting fouls. He was getting held back. And I can't remember the Southampton player was now, but he had a bit of a go at him. Mikel reacted. The second one was just, it was a mindless lunge, wasn't it? He looked like a tired player who, to be honest, I would have substituted him about 5 or 10 minutes earlier, because he was looking incredibly leggy, and he's our focal point in attack. Yeah. And when the ball doesn't stick for Mikel, the game's up. And he looked frustrated, he looked tired, and it was almost borderline inevitable for me. He was going to get into trouble in some way.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. He definitely looked frustrated, didn't he? And of course, I think it was Steve Page who pointed out that he was clutching his hip after that challenge, and just looked generally cheesed off with life, didn't he? And I suppose who was it? I think Chris Bowen pointed out that he had a 13,000-mile round journey in midweek, and again coming back to what we were saying about the internationals and the burden that players. Of course, they're off to Zagreb again this week. It's an awful lot of football to play, but anyway, it is what it is, to coin a phrase, and that's where we are. We're going to wrap up, actually, gentlemen, now, because I have a dinner date in about 25 minutes, so I've got to rush off and get changed. But before we do that, let's we haven't done it yet. Let's pick our man of the match, and Noam, I'll come to you first on that one, if I may. who was your standout player for the Hammers today, if anyone?
Nobody really.
Yeah.
You know, it was. I think Bowen worked his socks off without really sort of sticking out. So I'm really hard pushing to really pick someone out. Bowen, I think. Maybe.
Okay.
As you look worked out, I've just got me train as well.
Okay. Rio,
I'm parked up by the airport.
Okay, good luck. We'll just have you for a couple of more minutes if we may, and we'll wrap up. But Rio, your man of the match?
For me, Declan Rice.
Yeah.
Generally one of our midfield who'd undergone the hard yards of international football, a lot of travelling. But today he was imperious and led by example, saved our bacon. I just wish he wouldn't believe the hype about scoring with 30 yards. It's not happening, mate. It's just not happening.
No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. For me, I'm going to go for Craig Dawson. I mean, I know he had that error that nearly cost us in the second half, but I thought first half he was outstanding. Bearing in mind the enormous pressure he must have been under as well, knowing that his place is is pretty much up for grabs with the arrival of Kurt Zouma. And I thought he handled that magnificently, the pressure in the first half. Again, at the start of the second half, I thought he was excellent, but did make that one wicket. But I don't think anyone was perfect today, were they? Declan Rice, of course, that had a good game and hooked that one off the line that saved us the point. But a couple of people just to see what everyone's going for on the live chat. Thomas Eldridge saying perhaps Bowen, agreeing with Gnome, and Sam K also saying Bowen man of the match for me. Hobo going with you, Rio, saying that's a Declan man of the match just for that clearance, never mind his overall play. He felt he was superb. That's just about it for today. Just one thing I want to touch on before we go, Rio. Should we have a quick dive into the forum before we bid farewell and just see what our fellow Hammers are saying about that game?
Yeah, certainly. Obviously, as expected, a lot of kind of not unhappy, let's say dejected. Point out by Billardino was we've run out of puff after 70 to 75 minutes once again.
Yep.
Second game in a row is having a squad going to be costly. But as Bubbles put, not the manager needs to be willing to make substitute players. With 100 to 150 million worth of players on the bench, we made only 2 subs, despite the fact the whole squad looked leggy. Eastleigh Hammer 16. Very concerned that we already look leggy. We haven't even started in Europe yet. Botorius ran the game, but then we're very fortunate at the end. It's a fair result, to be honest, but I thought Fornells and Benny were horrific.
Okay.
So Trevor, we don't see how we could have got a player along the lines of a Grant Brody who come on for them. Young, quick, and a bit of a lump. We just need someone to come on a few minutes there and then to make like a kind of impression. There we go. Last 2 games. This is Asian Hammer. Last 2 games we could have lost. Dawson is going to cost us games until Moyes plays Zuma. Yeah, just a lot of kind of reflective. No real criticism. I think it's just an appreciation of the fact that we've got away for Finn's squad. Yeah, it's still early in the season and we're short of numbers.
Okay, good stuff. That's the view of our fellow Hammers on the KUMB.com forum. We haven't even taken a look really at Saints Web this afternoon to find out what the Southampton fans thought of the game. But of course, you can do that tomorrow on KUMB.com. We will have our roundup, the opposition view, where we will find out what the Saints thought of today's game. But anyway, join us on KUMB tomorrow for that. If you want to talk about the game, get onto the KUMB.com forum match thread. There will be plenty of discussion being had there for the rest of the game. Before we do go, let me just thank everybody who's joined us on the live stream. Thank you for supporting us as you do week in, week out, and for entertaining us with your contributions and comments. If you like what you've seen, give us a little like. There's a little thumbs up button down there. Please feel free to hit that if you've enjoyed the stream. We thank you for that. And of course, subscribe to what we do to be notified when any of our content goes live. And of course, to be told be informed, not told, be informed when our live streams go live, as will be the case on Thursday for Zagreb. I'm going to go to the chaps for their final words as we wrap up. It sounds like we're getting the final word for the stadium announcer at Southampton at the moment, but hopefully he's going to be finished very soon. So I'll go down to you first of all, Noam, for your final thoughts on what you've seen today, coming at us live from St Mary's. And I think we might have lost Noam, actually. So I'm going to, okay, while we see if we can get Noam back for one last moment. Rio, I'll come to you. Final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, it's just a very disappointing game, wasn't it? We look incredibly tired. The lack of investment in the squad, particularly up front, is going to come back and bite us. But look at the positives. It's a clean sheet. We haven't kept one of them all season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've gone to a tricky away ground, got a point. You know, we're still top 5. We're not Arsenal. Just in general, you know, things are on the up still.
Yep.
We've got 3 new players to bed in. You know, we're starting a European tour this week. Things are still positive. Let's not be downhearted by going away from home. And despite the fact we played really well for 70 minutes, we was clinging on at the end. We got a point. Let's be happy.
Yeah, you know what they say: win your home games, draw your away games, you can have a good season, and that's we've done better than that so far. No, have we got you or have we lost you now? I can kind of hear you. You're sort of in and out at the moment. Can you hear me, Noam? Can you hear me? I guess that's a no. All right, so we'll call it a day there anyway. For the record, gentlemen, I've just seen Lee Hendry come on my screen over here, and I've just seen what he's wearing, and I can absolutely validate what was said earlier about his togs. Very interesting selection of clobber on show there from Mr. Hendry. But anyway, that's it from us, from myself, from Noam, and from Rio. Noam coming live from St Mary's, giving us the view from the fans, the travelling fans, and myself and Rio in our studios. West Ham United haven't won today, but they have extended their unbeaten run to 4 games. We remain unbeaten, 2 wins, 2 draws, despite failing to break down a resilient and tough, hard-working Southampton side at St Mary's today. And of course, it could have been so much worse had the effort that struck the woodwork in the closing seconds gone the other side of the post, or Declan Rice not being positioned perfectly to hook out a goal-bound header from underneath the crossbar in the final minute of added on time. Now it's finished Southampton 0, West Ham United 0. West Ham 8 points from our opening 4 games of the season, in 5th place in the Premier League, and on our way to Croatia next week. Of course, we will be bringing you that game live from here, from Eyes Up Mother Brown. So if you're not going to Croatia in midweek, of course, if you are, have a safe journey. We hope you have a wonderful time and sing loud and proud for the Hammers. But if you're not, why not come and join us again on Thursday evening on KUMTV's Eyes Up Mother Brown. Myself, Rio, you'll be here, I'm sure, on Thursday.
I'll explain that after we've come off air.
Okay, all right. Well, maybe not. But myself and Noam will definitely be here. Hopefully, Nick will be back as well. But there will be some of us here anyway. We hope you can join us once again on KUMB TV on Thursday evening. Until then, West Ham 5th in the Premier League, still going strong, still looking good, still unbeaten. We'll see.